Pittsburgh Pirates Spring Training Baseball is brought to you by McDonald's. And from McKechnie Field here in Bradenton, Florida, a breezy, warm Sunday afternoon as the Pirates will host the Houston Astros. Hi, and welcome into the booth. Joe Block to be joined by Bob Walk, as we are glad to be here, especially me, to be part of the Pirates broadcasting team, and good to be working with you here today.
Joe, I've already been with you a couple of times. It's been an absolute pleasure. I feel like I've been sitting next to you for years already. Can't wait for the rest of spring and, of course, the season to get started.
You know, I'm interested today to see, a lot of the jobs that need to be won in spring training and in the bullpen. We're going to see a lot of these guys here today.
Yeah, we are. A lot of these names, they're on the team for sure. And a lot of this is kind of about depth, but you got to have depth. Joe, as you know, you get into just the middle of April and May for sure. There's going to be changes. You got to have that depth to make up for injuries, that sort of thing. So it's good to have all those names. They're real strong candidates from that right side.
Yeah, a lot of depth. And the last season, of course, as we look at our Barrel League leaders, that was the big strong point for the Pirates.
It was, and one of the things I love to look at here is the inherited runner scored percentage, first in Major League Baseball, and that for me, one of the big numbers for any bullpen. When they come on and there's trouble out there, guys on the sacks, do they shut it down? Well, last year the Pirates shut it down.
One of the candidates for the bullpen this year actually getting the start this afternoon. Juan Nicasio will get the nod for the Bucks. Pirates with a lot of regulars in their lineups today, and the Astros featuring Rookie of the Year Carlos Correa. The full lineups, first pitch coming up next from Bradenton.
There's a lot to see at Nissan now. Award-winning safety, reimagined design, and premium interiors. 5 exciting new models. This is Nissan Now.
For a limited time, get 0% financing for up to 60 months on select models, or get up to $2,000 bonus cash. Get your new Nissan now. Shop your local Nissan store and choose Nissan.com.
What is the Sam Adams Nitro Project? It's our beer reinvented from the bubbles out. Most beers are carbonated, big, and fizzy, but swap in some nitrogen and you get this. Those tiny bubbles make beer smoother, creamier, irresistible. Just open and pour. Sam Adams Nitro White Ale, IPA.
Parrott giving him a little bit of a something to look at. That's spring training, isn't it? Everyone a little bit loose.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's antique camera there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Those big ones.
Juan Nicasio getting the nod today for the Buccos, and as is custom throughout spring training, not only just having a little fun, but also a lot of different pitchers here in the first week. And I'm excited to see Nicasio, one of the new additions.
It's one of those deals in spring training that whoever starts the game doesn't necessarily mean that they're a candidate for a spot in the starting rotation. So that really doesn't really mean a whole lot. A lot of times it's just a bullpen day, that sort of thing. As you get later into spring training, then you really have to have guys starting to stretch out and throw 4, 5, 6 innings. And today it's Nicasio will go out there and see what he can do. Maybe throw the first couple, and just another one of the group of right-handers that should make up a really solid bullpen. We were talking about this on the radio the other day. I can't remember if it was you was talking about this or if it was Greg, but the bullpen, at least on paper, if everybody can kind of do a little bit of what they've done in the past, it could be as strong a bullpen as anybody has in baseball for sure.
Yeah, Nicasio getting the nod. They're going to stretch him out in spring training just to give him a look. And Andrew McCutchen taking center field.
Yeah, he may be. There goes Kutch out to play all the outfielders. We'll talk about this today too. They've moved in. They're playing a shallow outfield this year, trying to take away some of those little dunk hits. But Nicasio, they'll stretch him out a little bit. He could be one of those plan B, plan C, starting rotation guys.
Let's take a look at who's going to be against Juan Nicasio this afternoon. The Houston Astros coming into town. Jake Marisnick in center field. George Springer, who's healthy again, and then the reigning Rookie of the Year, Carlos Correa. Justin Tucker. Matt Duffy, not the Giants' Matt Duffy. Another big prospect, A.J. Reed, big home run hitter. Tyler White, Roberto Pena, Tony Kemp rounds out the Houston 9 against Juan Nicasio.
Nicasio's numbers on the season brought to you by UPMC, and as you can see, just one start last year, but that could be, as I said earlier, like a plan B, plan C thing, depending on how the starting rotation gets off to a good or poor start as far as guys' health, that sort of thing. He could be in there at some point during the season. A lot of strikeouts, more strikeouts than innings pitched.
And he's been a starter in the past, but right now in spring training, couple of innings. No big deal for Nicasio. And here are the guys behind him today for the Bucks. There's Michael Morse making his first start in right field in a couple of years. Last time he did that in a regular season game was 2013. McCutchen, as we saw in center. Jake Gilbert over in left. Moroff in the second base for the most part. Normally he'll play at third base today. And Francisco Cervelli doing the catching. With the other regulars out there for the Bucks this afternoon. Breezy day too, and Nicasio set to work. And Jake Marisnick in there for the Astros.
It seems like the Pirates have been giving some of their regular players a little more work here early in spring training than maybe in past years. It goes along with the what they've been saying as far as trying to compete more, maybe get off to a little bit better start come April 1st.
And a good start as Nicasio with the strikeout on Marisnick.
Good location. 0-2 fastball went upstairs and threw it by him. There's the high target and just right there inside half the plate. Velocity and location on that pitch.
George Springer. All right, just a little note here that next few minutes you may experience a temporary disturbance in our coverage. A natural solar event known as a sun outage could affect the satellite transmission, so we're aware of it. Maybe coming up in the next few minutes, so we apologize in advance for the inconvenience. If you lose us, we'll be back. Just like when you're driving through a tunnel, drop the phone call. Sometimes this stuff happens.
Put my sunblock on, getting ready. That smells good. It smells like Florida.
That's like a coconut scent or something.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff.
I feel like I'm in the tropics. Kind of. It feels tropical.
I don't want to get caught up with this solar event.
Now, I should be the one more concerned with the solar.
Here, put a little
I need the whole thing.
There's a solar event coming. Put a little of that on.
I have to give this back to you.
That smell good?
It does good. It's a rich scent. Mercer with a nice backhanded.
Oh, how about that throw? It's tough to get it there in the air. And I thought there was going to have to be some kind of a pick play over there, but Mercer did not bounce that.
He's some kind of special at short, isn't he?
He's very good. He's underappreciated. Nice job by Jaso getting out there and making sure the ball didn't bounce. Of course, Jaso will be under a microscope every time he does anything out there. We'll make a comment on it. He's learning a new position.
Here's the reigning Rookie of the Year, Carlos Correa. Yeah, Jaso over at first. That's something we'll, learning a new position. Morse in right today. Usually plays a little left field. There's Jaso, and got the nice locks going, and Morse not bad with the hair either. Yeah, Morse more left field and first. Just missed.
Barely.
Yeah, Correa, this is first time that I've got to see him. Curious to watch him today. And he can run too. Moroff, who has not played a lot of third, 11 games last year in the minor leagues, getting quite the test.
Yeah, that was a tough one. Yeah, I mean, he knows that Correa can run, so it's a do or die barehanded play.
Not just the power with Correa. Yeah, I don't know if he gets him even if he picked it up.
No, I mean, I don't think he would have. Didn't make much difference. Swinging hit. Swing bunt. Good slider, by the way. Ran right on the end of the bat.
Yeah, that's the pitch that the Pirates say if Nicasio can locate that pitch, he can be very, very effective. This is Preston Tucker. Last year, half a season. A lot of the Astros with big power numbers.
Still, it's hard for me not to see more of the Astros. All these years, play them so many times.
Now the sixth team in the NL Central.
Well, I thought they were going to go over to the American League and just get crushed. And they went over there, and wow, did they turn that franchise around in a hurry.
And that's a rare miscue there by Jordy Mercer, but he was in the right spot.
A real good defensive positioning. He was standing right there, ball hit right at him.
That's going to be an error. Now, these fields are a lot better than they probably were when you were playing.
Yeah, he won't miss too many of those. It was a perfect time to have the ball hit to you. First inning, the field's just been watered down. There's no foot traffic out there yet, and it really didn't look to me like he got an in-between hop. I don't know what happened on that one.
Well, it's March 6th. First week of action still.
Always so sure-handed, but not on that one.
No, Nicasio going to face Matt Duffy, and not the Giants' Matt Duffy either. There's two in the big leagues, which is kind of funny because you think about the both of them are kind of coming up at the same time too. Split squad for the Astros today. You talk about the.
I just now realized that I need to not look at the monitor
because of that foul ball that just rolled back our way.
This is one of the ballparks you got to be watching the field when you're sitting up here in the booth.
One of the things I'm getting used to.
Don't look at the monitor. Watch downstairs.
Well, if you want to get a feel for where we are.
Yeah, there we go.
Hello. You see how I'm going to roll right up that lip?
Yeah, the ball comes up real quick.
On that roof there?
I need to be paying attention.
Yeah. I'll save you.
Normally, I'll be under the desk. You won't have to do anything. I'm real good at ducking.
Now 3-1 on Duffy.
Yeah, that slider, it's a 2-1 pitch. Looked to me like he really took a lot off, and it broke a lot bigger because he was just trying to kind of feather one in there for a strike. And sometimes when you do that, when you back off it a little bit, you get that bigger break. And I think that's what happened to him there. That ball kind of swept the plate, ran off away.
3-1. And full now on Duffy.
That slider that he threw Correa, that was a harder slider, and it didn't break all that much. It was just maybe 6-7 inches, just barely run down to the end of the bat.
Well, you know, he was a starter all those years in Colorado, then went to L.A. last year, the Dodgers, and moving into the bullpen, Nicasio's strikeouts went up, so did his walks. And, you know, it seems like the perfect candidate to come here and work with the Pirates.
When you get moved to the bullpen like he did last season, you have a tendency, I think, to go harder with everything because you know you'll only be out there for a short time.
Comes inside and fans Matt Duffy. A couple of strikeouts. Hit and an error. And the Pirates coming to bat. No score from Bradenton. Astros turned aside at the top of the first. And a classic sign for those of you that remember in 1979. It's starting to look like it's been around since 1979, but
it's a little tattered.
That is the same. That's the genuine article right there. That's some quality burlap or whatever was used to.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the lineup today for the Buccos. And most of the regular nine in there. And Francisco Cervelli had a fine year last year behind the dish. Also going to see Jason Rogers, newly acquired from the Brewers. That's our RAV4 lineup for today. Happy birthday to Francisco Cervelli as well. And Josh Harrison in there against Astros starter Brad Peacock. Got the sunglasses on today for Josh.
He's got to be very relaxed this spring training, I would think, Jay. He has the position. He knows where he's going to be playing every day.
And very patient there as he gets aboard on the walk.
Every player wants his own position. Even if you know you're in the lineup every day, I don't think anybody really likes bouncing around, and one day at third, one day in the outfield, one day it's second. And now Jay Hayes going to be the second baseman, and it's got to be an enjoyable spring training for him. Just come down, get ready for the season, and come every day, do his work.
And Cervelli just getting a nice warm welcome.
He is a crowd favorite in Pittsburgh.
He'll be facing Brad Peacock today.
You see the numbers of Peacock. Just up with the 1 start, 5 innings. Intercostal strain.
And finally in there since June of last year, so trying to shake off nerves a little bit.
Oh, I'm sure that a little bit of nerves.
Cervelli, the big 3-0 today. 30th birthday for the Pirates catcher.
Anytime you go out there and if you're one of those guys that hasn't been told, okay, you're way before spring training started, you're going to be the such and such starter this year. Even with the extra or the players, the regular players, not just pitchers, but when you know that you have to kind of go out there and pitch for your dinner every game. It's a different feeling in spring training than some of the other guys. Like for Jay Hay, what I was just talking about with Jay Hay. I mean, he's just get ready for spring. Get ready for the regular season. Just don't get hurt. And, get your time and get your swing. But for a lot of players, the nerves can come into it because they know that there's a lot at stake for them.
And Harrison gets in with a stolen base.
One of the things when you get that short hop as you're catching it, your glove's coming up to catch the ball. Now you have to stop your glove and now get it going back the other direction for a tag. And that's what got Jay Hay in there on that one. Now, if this throw carries all the way to the bag, I think Jay Hay's going to be out. But because it bounced, he came up to make the catch, and by the time he got the glove back down, Jay Hay's safe. How about all the running the Pirates been doing? This, some of it not really successfully, but they are really taking off.
Very aggressive. We'll talk with Rick Soffield coming up in the top of the 4th today. And I'm curious to ask him. I'm sure it's by design. I mean, it's not just been base stealing, but even some extra bases here and there. And
they've tried at least one delay steal. Did that with Jaso.
Pena can't get it there in time, and Harrison will take another bag.
Harrison's probably just naturally. He, Marte, Polanco, they're really the 3 guys that are extremely aggressive, always looking to go taking a chance to move up 90 feet. So this style of play that the Pirates are trying out here in spring training and really fitting him to a T.
So yeah, not just stealing bases, but right there, being ready to move and take that extra base if it's given to you on a close play.
Aggressive mindset.
And a couple of walks issued by Peacock. Big jam already with first and third. And Andrew McCutchen striding to the plate.
Yeah, like you said, probably a little bit of nerves out there with Peacock. Clint looking on.
No nerves for him.
No, absolutely not. He's always pretty steady.
Look at those numbers from last season. He's perennial MVP candidate.
Talk about pretty steady. That's Kutch.
And Buck's on the pond for him here with nobody out. High to center, deep enough. Let's see. It's coming in now with that wind. Marisnik way offline, but Pena able to get the tag on Harrison. Now that wind is really bringing the ball in today. Marisnik didn't have that hard of a throw once he was able to come in.
Nope. That ball shallower than originally it looked, and it's something we talk about down here all the time in spring training. That was a nice shot there. You could see what Jay Hay's looking at, trying to tag up. But the wind, the big effect on the way the game is played here at McKechnie all the time. How hard is it blowing and what direction?
He just kept coming on in and had all that momentum going toward the plate. Here's Jaso. And a liner into left center. Cervelli's going to score. And the Pirates open with a 1-0 lead.
And that's something that I think Jaso is showing right away. Is you don't have to be a big home run hitter to be productive as a first baseman. You go out there, you hit line drives, you knock guys in when they're on the bases.
So one pitch after the double play.
I think it was Tommy Herr hit either right in front or behind a Jack Clark back in the Cardinal days, and I think he had 100 RBIs and hit about 12 home runs. But you don't have to be a huge home run guy to be successful. Normally corner infielder, you like to see a lot of home runs, but you don't have to have that.
We haven't seen that a lot in baseball lately, but going back to Tom Herr, I wanted to look it up for you. 8 homers, 110 RBIs, and 85. 110 RBIs. He only had 8 home runs.
Yeah, and it just also kind of you think about the type of team it was back in there. A lot of speed, a lot of running, and so they created all these opportunities for him to get RBIs and to knock in runs without having to hit the ball over the fence. And I think the Pirates are a lot. You look at the everyday outfield, and it would match up really nicely speed-wise with some of those old Cardinal teams.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that can run. We've seen the Pirates try to run, even with guys like Jaso, who maybe aren't base stealers. But
I think it was Jaso that tried the delay steal the other day.
2-1 on Michael Morse in right field today.
The delay steal is where you try and catch the infielders kind of napping. A lot of times you'll see an infielder after the ball goes across the plate, they just kind of, and nothing happens, they'll drop their head and kind of kick at the dirt. And if you see those guys doing that, well then about the time that ball crosses the plate, that's when you run, and nobody notices because everybody is looking at home. And then by the time that the infielder realizes, oh, I got to cover second base, well now it's going to be too late. So you want to do that too in situations like this where there's 2 outs because they're all back on the grass. If they're in double play, then they're too close. But you get them back on the grass, get them not paying attention to you. That's when you want to try that double or the delay steal.
3-2 to Morse, and he struck him out. Now the Pirates will end up getting 1. A couple of walks in the inning. Threw one from Bradenton. 1-0 Pirates.
Spring Training Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by McDonald's All-Day Breakfast. Breakfast has been liberated. By Bordas & Bordas, official legal partner of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Visit BordasLaw.com. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Second inning, John Jaso driving in the Pirates' first run. And a 1-0 Bucks lead, and that's for Francisco Cervelli. That's a 30 for number 29. Big 3-0. No, not 5. 30. Well, I guess he wasn't acknowledging us.
Waving to somebody.
maybe to these guys, or maybe some friends of his. They should have brought the sign, not the other guys.
I think he was doing something, telling Mercer, I believe, something about the shift. I think he was wanting Mercer, like he was kind of like saying, he's not going to bunt. Go ahead and move back. And Mercer was in just in case he bunted that first pitch anyway.
You would not expect the bunt. Mercer playing back, and Reed, with 34 home runs last year, hit 340 in the minor leagues. And of course, he hits it back to the mound. Nicasio, a little crossed up with Jaso.
Jaso thought the ball was a ground ball to second, and so he never looked. So there was no one to throw it to. Jaso was looking at second base. So there was nobody for Nicasio to throw the ball to. See Jaso running to the bag. Now he looks out at second base, and he doesn't know who's got the ball.
Well, it's spring training for everybody, and everybody's getting this all figured out. I've seen the hidden ball trick over at first, but that's a new one for me.
That happened to me one time in AAA ball in Hawaii. Well, I'd actually let go of the ball, and I had to yell the first baseman's name so he would turn and look at me, or it was going to hit him, and he turned just in time to catch the ball. When they're playing deep like that, and they see the ball off the bat, and they're assuming that, okay, that's a chopper to second, and they put their head down, they run to their bag, they turn around, and they don't realize that you've made a decent play to glove it.
They were in that shift too, where there's the three guys on the right side, and a lot to learn at first base.
Good job by Nicasio.
He never gave up on it.
Realizing that nobody's looking, and I got to beat the runner.
This is Tyler White. Also some athleticism for Nicasio as well.
I like the way he's looked today. His mannerisms, the way he's carrying himself out on the mound, very confident-like. On some nice sliders. There's one right there. Good location. Nice little short breaking ball. There it is. Look at the location. Just right, the ball breaking right down on the corner, just a tad above the knees. Well, we were talking in between innings a while ago about pitchers that had pitched for the Rockies. Oh, just messed with that one. I always feel good about getting that type of guy, because you don't know, especially if they had decent success, because you might get them in a better ballpark, a fair ballpark, or even a pitcher's ballpark, and now they're totally different, and now you can see their true abilities, and well, maybe that is what you got with Nicasio.
Chopper to third. Max Moroff with a nifty play.
Tough in between hop. Nice job by Moroff.
Get on board with Bucco Baseball as a season ticket member. You get unprecedented year-round access to exclusive events and experiences. Choose from a full season, half season, or a 20-game plan. Customize your membership by selecting the experiences Go to pirates.com/membership for more details. Here's Roberto Pena. You're talking about some of the old Cardinals a minute ago, and you think about Pena being a catcher. Of course, former Pirate Tony Pena. And I saw Cervelli a minute ago behind the dish, kind of have that Tony Pena squat.
Yep.
Sitting down almost back there.
That was one of those big during spring training trades. Tony Pena going across the Skyway Bridge to the Cardinals. At that time we're up in St. Pete. And one of the guys came this way with where's he at? I can't see him, which usually is easy to pick out.
I know you're picking out here. He's swinging a ball driven to center. McCutchen with that wind helping a little bit today too.
Well, we'll have to find him. Mike LaValliere, I know he's down there somewhere.
We'll be on the lookout. Inning and a half complete. 1-0 Pirates.
After an inning and a half, it's a beautiful day here in Bradenton, Florida. I'm Robbie Ince-Mikowski as we watch this game between the Pirates and the Astros. And Astros shortstop Carlos Correa won the American League's Rookie of the Year award last season. And during his acceptance speech, he said that he wanted to wear number 21 someday in honor of his hero, Roberto Clemente. You see, Correa is from Puerto Rico, where Clemente is from. Now, he told me he speaks for himself when he says that Roberto Clemente's number should be retired, and he'd like to work with the Players Association to see if maybe one day it gets done. Now, he said Clemente is for the Latin community, what Jackie Robinson is for the African-American community, and that anyone who wants to wear it on his day should. Another guy who wants to see that done, Joe and Bob, Andrew McCutchen. Under his jersey today is a T-shirt that reads Retire 21. Hopefully one day, guys, we'll see it happen, right?
At some point, I would think that that could happen down the road.
Yeah, I really think it is. I think there's enough people that are very influential, and they're going to do that. They're going to push that through, and it should be. Absolutely, it should be retired.
And, you look at the great ambassadors that this game has had, and of course Jackie Robinson. First of all, I don't think anyone ever thought when Jackie Robinson's number was retired that universally that would be something that would happen. And when it was proposed and done, everyone lauded it. What a great idea. And now that that precedent has been established, I mean, who better to really embody the giving aspect of the game. And Correa that time involved in the play, and Mercer is going to be aboard to start this second inning. But you know, it's not just because of Clemente's greatness on the field; it was what he did off it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's the off the field that really sets him apart from everybody else. I mean, there are a lot of good players in the Hall of Fame that put up nice numbers, but the Clemente situation, that he is not who he is in the Latin community or in the baseball community as a whole because of necessarily what he did on the field. It was the off the field stuff that really set him apart, and it's the reason why his number 21 should be put away forever.
The Astros' John Singleton wore it last year for Houston. Not retired with the Astros. There's the new Pirate, Jason Rogers, coming over from Milwaukee in the offseason. Into that breeze in center. And Marisnik has the first out.
In the air to left or center field is going nowhere. Now that I've said that, somebody will go over the scoreboard here a little later. But
we've had a tough time figuring things out this spring.
I want to see it done.
Well, on these days where the wind has been blowing out, you and I have said, okay, well, great, we'll see a lot of home runs today. And then no one hit us.
We saw one.
No one hits it to the where the breeze is. Jake Gobert. He had that big hit yesterday, a 2-run double that tied it. Nice year last year in El Paso. The Chihuahuas. What was the funniest? Do you remember any funny nicknames of teams you played on in the minor leagues? They seem to be more creative these days.
Yeah, nowadays it's much more. Now,
Biscuits. They have now.
The only team that I had that trying to think, I had.
Well, you were a Hawaii Islander, right?
The Oklahoma City 89ers.
Okay.
And the Peninsula Pilots.
Where was the Peninsula Pilots?
Hampton, Virginia.
Okay.
They were the Pilots because of the, Norfolk is there. It's the big bay and all that. Pilots being the boat pilots.
Okay.
Guys that take over and dock the ships and stuff.
Okay.
So but those are the only one. Everything else was like, they had the parent thing. I played for the Reading Phillies, Spartanburg Phillies, Richmond Braves, and that would be about it.
Robert taps it foul.
No tricky names.
Now nowadays, there's all sorts of team names. The team that plays here in Bradenton used to be the Pirates. Now they're the Marauders, trying to play off the parent club, right?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more marketing.
There have been. I've seen some very clever ones over the years.
Full now on Gobert. Mercer has to stay put at first. There's the Marauders. Similar logo, but a little bit more menacing. This is a really
more of a mean pirate.
Yeah, Pirates just they'll steal your treasure. Marauders may do a little plundering as well.
Yeah.
This is what I've read. I've never been on a ship.
They want to do some work with that cutlass. It's scary stuff.
Third walk today issued by Brad Peacock.
He can't be very proud of his control so far.
First game since June. Hey, a reminder too that the Buckaroos Kids Club, presented by Chick-fil-A, offers a special member-only benefits for kids 14 and younger, and club benefits including that free Pirates tickets, buy one get one ticket vouchers, Chick-fil-A coupons, Pirates gear, the Buckaroos Kids Club newsletter, and you get more. Both free and paid membership are available. Sign up your kid at pirates.com/Buckaroos. Here's Max Moroff, number 9 hitter today. There we go. Root for the Pirates. Well done. Even got the
notches in there?
Yeah, the pennant notches in there. fine artistry we've seen today by some of the folks here. I would sometimes take a poster board or whatever, take it to the ballpark, make a sign, but I'd always forget a good pen, and I would just have like a ballpoint pen or something, and you couldn't even read it. These guys are really good. These are pros. I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah, you always have to make sure you incorporate something that's going to get you on the television.
I always wanted to be on the television.
Yeah, you got to do something.
Now I don't need a sign.
No, now you're on.
More off, the Pirates minor league player of the year last year.
Snoop camera's always looking at us.
That's why they call it that.
Yeah.
And a slap at a base hit into left. Mercer will be held. And the base is full of bucks on a nice piece of hitting by Max Moroff.
Moroff going the other way. Duffy was way off the line. Kind of giving him a lot of room in between the bag when it was hit, and it got that way. I thought for sure it was going to score Mercer. But he did a great job getting that ball back in.
Moroff, an all-star in the Eastern League last year with Altoona. And a very good fielder, as well as a .293 hitter last year. So a guy that they're looking at maybe more as a utility guy, because they're playing him at third today. He was a second baseman mostly last year. Here is the second baseman, Josh Harrison. Trying to add to the 1-0 lead.
He was hunting fastball on that first pitch. Didn't get it. Fooled with the breaking ball, fooled by the lack of speed.
This one gets away from Pena, but Harrison holds him up.
Yeah, if there's maybe 2 outs and you're down at third by yourself, you might go ahead and give that one a shot. But with the bases loaded and just 1 out, there's a chance here for a big inning. You don't want to take any chances and make it out at the plate. So Mercer decided to throw the brakes on.
One from Peacock.
Nice backhand by Mercer.
That's why he's so good at short.
Yeah,
I mean, he's doing that even when he's a base runner.
Defensive skills.
I mean, I bet you, his wife throws a balled up pair of socks at him or something. He just does that instinctively.
Just snatches it.
Base is loaded. 1-2. Even is up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. A little different when you don't have the pitcher batting ninth. Get to keep the rally going after Moroff's base hit. 2-2. A lot of breaking stuff here from Peacock.
He's throwing a lot of this off-speed stuff. I guess hoping that J.A. is a little over anxious with all those guys out on the bases and wants him to be a little over aggressive.
Hit to center, and Marisnik able to get that one. Mercer will score, and the Pirates double their lead. It's 2-0. Got the job done. And here's our day automotive. Great day from last season, and in the first game of doubleheader on September 30th, Francisco Cervelli, the big grand slam off Michael Wacha. Bucks beating the Cards winning in the final week against the division leaders kept Pirates' hopes for the NL Central alive at that moment.
A lot of great moments from last season. 2 years in a row, the Pirates have been able to take it down to the very end of the season, but have fallen short as far as beating the Cardinals to that first place. Maybe this year.
Well, never know. In the wild card game, the Astros were entrants in the wild card a year ago as well. Those pillbox hats going to make their way back this season as well.
Sundays, right?
Yeah, you and I will be. I'm going to see if I can wrangle one of those up at the team store. I've always wanted to get one of those pillbox hats.
I think I probably have a couple at home. One anyway.
Original?
Yeah.
Wow.
I used to have to wear that.
Have to wear that.
Well, the players they
were square.
They didn't really care for them too much.
Yeah.
I liked them.
It was a different shape.
They were kind of neat.
Yeah.
But I would say overall, if you took a poll, most everybody wanted to have a more traditional, or well, I guess that would be in a way traditional, but a regular hat.
Yeah.
And in those days also, all the hats weren't the same like they are now. Nowadays, everybody wears the same uniform, same hat.
Right.
All the other teams, everybody's the same. Then, there were different, hat companies and different uniform companies. And so there was a lot of like, okay, I like this, I don't like that. They all fit different.
Yeah, because they, had to kind of go like this for like a blockhead, like mine. It would fit just fine, but.
I really did enjoy it, and I like the history with it, especially the recent history with it, with the stars, all around them. It really was something that set the Pirates apart from everybody else wearing the same thing.
Now that's baseball doesn't allow anything on the hats anymore, but there's been some clamoring to try to at least allow an exception, at least one day a week for the Buccos. Here's the birthday boy Cervelli facing a new pitcher, James Hoyt.
We had 3 different uniforms at one time. Actually 4, but I think when I got here there was just 3 left, and they were made by 3 different companies. See Hoyt's numbers. So they all would fit a little different. And then sometimes you would mix and match, like the yellow bottoms and the black top, that sort of thing.
Yeah, there were some that probably should not be brought back, some combinations.
Yeah. Well, you never knew what you were wearing from night to night, that's for sure.
Who picked that out?
I really don't know. John Hallahan was the Hooley was the old clubhouse guy, was there for ever, and I guess he did. I don't know if anybody told him this is what you were wearing. The only thing he knew was that Sundays Sunday at home was always all white.
Kent Tekulve wearing a pinstripes. So.
Yeah, he would be very comfortable in that hat we were talking about.
The white with the pinstripes, yellow with the pinstripes, right?
Yeah, there was
yellow.
You had all kinds of combinations. All black tops, black bottoms with different colors. Some of them they would maybe wear it once. Say, well, we're not going to do that again. I don't think the players like the all yellow.
That was an interesting time for uniforms. These Houston Astros had some combinations as well. You can see there's a lot of stuff to choose from. Players don't wear all those different combinations, but a few of them. You get to mix and match. When I was a kid, all you could buy were those mesh hats. You couldn't even get the official hat. You had to order those away if you wanted to go in the store.
A lot of teams used to wear the mesh hats down here for spring training.
That's right. Yeah, about that same time in the 80s. That kind of plastic.
Yeah.
So you could breathe it a little bit better.
Yeah, you knew you made the team if you got a real hat.
See what the Astros have there on the sides, all that rainbow color. Their uniforms used to be half. The tops used to be half all the way around that rainbow. So the stylists were a little different back then. 1-2.
Uniforms are all extremely tight.
Was that just on you or on?
No, everybody. You know what I mean. It's just like everybody would. That was the style.
I thought maybe you wanted to show off your physique.
No. I tried to loosen mine up as much as I could.
A run in here in the second. 2-2 to Cervelli, and now Full. He scored the first run back in the first. McCutchen on deck. Bucks on the pond. That's Gobert at second, and Moroff over at first. They'll be running to Correa. And that will get Houston out of the inning. Another run across for the Buccos, and we're through 2-0 Pirates. Third inning. There's the old popsicle tops. Rainbow style jerseys. It's a replica, but similar to what very similar to what J.R. Richard those guys were wearing back in 70s and 80s. I still try to trot those out there every now and then. Lovely afternoon here, breezy and warm, and glad you could join us.
Well,
here
you can
Root
see
Sports.
this great shot here. How much fun it is to be at this ballpark for a game. Out here in the Florida sun, just a beautiful place to come and watch baseball, to sit back. So many different places you can be to watch the game. Walk all around the stadium.
I love that.
Find a spot you like and sit down for a while.
I got the old charm of a vintage ballpark, but yet nice expansive areas, plenty of room to walk, easy to get up in the concession lines. And Kyle Lobstein. You also get Kyle Lobstein when you come to the ballpark here, the left-hander.
Had a start earlier.
Yeah. Former Detroit Tiger.
That's where he started, up in Lakeland, wasn't it?
Yeah, against his old club.
That was the opening game of the Grapefruit League season for the Pirates.
This is Tony Kemp. I pitched 2 scoreless innings and got the win back on Tuesday. And it's a Nice afternoon to sit outside there. Hello. Pitch. Hello from Lobstein. Pretty good command guy. He's not going to really overpower you, right?
Mm-hmm. Just going to try and hit his spots and change speeds a lot. He's just trying to stay a little ahead of you, a little behind you.
Getting the strikeout on Kemp.
The art of pitching. When you're not a guy that you can just sit back there and rely on sheer velocity to try and get your outs. You have to destroy that hitter's timing. Get him where he's always just a little ahead or just a little bit behind. I mean, an 88-mile-an-hour fastball, if somebody is really concerned with staying back and hitting an off-speed pitch, an 88-mile-an-hour fastball can be by you.
That's about the tops for him.
So that's what it is. You just adding a little bit, subtracting, moving the ball in and out.
I mean, there was a time in, not that long ago when you were pitching. 88 was a pretty decent velocity. Now you're a soft tosser.
Yeah, 88. I will. This is like a little bit of a source by this. Sometimes the numbers that we see nowadays, they are a little inflated because of the way they measure them.
Okay.
With the cameras instead of with the old-fashioned radar gun. But yeah, it does seem like there's a few more power arms around than there used to be. Now, spring training games, these are radar gun numbers that you see. But during the season in the ballparks, and the difference is the velocity of your fastball.
They got the future of ice cream.
Oh yeah, Dippin' Dots. The velocity of the fastball the ball really slows down from when you let go of it by the time it hits the plate. And the real quick answer is
rolled to Mercer.
Got that one easily. The radar guns, they picks up the speed when the ball is closer to home than the new way with the cameras, which basically gets the speed like about just a little bit out of your hand. So you're talking about the beginning of the front of the mound as opposed to somewhere in front of home plate there. So your difference is going to be a little different depending on the guns, and that's why you'd always see and still do the scouts. They always have their own gun.
Mercer, a busy guy, and Springer out easily. A 1-2-3 inning for Kyle Lobstein. 2.5 in the books. 2-0 Pirates.
We hit the bottom half of inning number 3 between the Pirates and the Astros. Now, just like we've seen with members of the front office in recent seasons with the Pirates, other teams have come in and poached a few members of the training staff as well. Otis Fitzgerald has been hired as the Pirates' new physical therapist, and they have a new strength coach as well. His name is Ricky White. Now, Fitzgerald, he's from East Liberty, graduated from Central Catholic High School, comes to the Buccos from his physical therapy and sports medicine clinic that he owned and ran. Now, Fitzgerald worked with many of the Pirates players in the offseason while they remained in Pittsburgh. Jung-Ho Kang is an example, as he did this past winter. Now, White has worked with the Indians for the past 2 seasons, 7th year overall in the organization. Now, in another move, Brendan Huttman has been promoted to the position of sports science coordinator. He was a strength coach the last handful of seasons. And Fitzgerald replaces Jeremiah Randall, who today is in the other dugout for the first time against the Buccos. He's now the head athletic trainer for the Houston Astros. A lot of good stuff going on here, Joe. And Bob, when you look at the training staff, Jeremiah will miss him greatly, but Otis Fitzgerald, a nice addition to the Pirates organization and the training staff.
Well, glad to have them aboard. They're not new to me, though. I'm new, too, so.
Yeah.
The Pirates have had a lot of interest in executives and people throughout the organization, and that comes from success.
Absolutely. I mean, you see that. You have a successful organization, and other organizations want your guys.
McCutcheon didn't think that was a swing. Milwaukee saying, all right, we got to move this along. The most vague rule in the rule book. What is a check swing?
It is.
It's really up to an umpire's discretion.
Yeah. So whatever they
wrong.
want it to be, yeah.
Jaso with an RBI single back in the first. Milwaukee veteran umpires, so.
I would have liked it, like, if, for me, because you have the umpires on the bases down the lines making the call. If the head of the bat passes the foul line, swing. If it doesn't get to the foul line, no swing. And then there's an absolute line rule. And then when we look at a replay, you can say, okay, yeah, that was over the line or not.
It seems pretty logical.
And that way, when in the future, when the computers are making all the calls, there's an actual something that the computer can look at. Because you can't just have a computer just do whatever it wants, right?
Well, these days they're getting closer to that.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, someday there won't be actual people out there making the calls.
Well, if they ever replace actual umpires, I hope there's at least cardboard cutouts that they put out there, because I think I miss them out there.
I kind of miss some of the arguments that
I was just going to say that.
There's some of the classic manager umpire confrontations that you just don't see anymore. Something that's definitely gone from the game. Felix. Dave Arrigo. He's been taking pictures for the Pirates in this ballpark. Going back forever, when this ballpark was looked more like a cow pasture.
Michael Morse up there. Now that view, that's from about where, I mean, you can sit and have that view here at McKechnie Field. You can't get that at a lot of spring training parks anymore, because they've made them in these miniature big league fields. It's so cozy here. Morse drives it to right.
Wow. Oh, line drive.
Nice play by Springer to keep Morse to a single. Almost knocked down the wall. Jaso scoots him to third, and the Bucks in business again.
He's got some raw power, doesn't he? Just kind of like flick the bat at the ball, and this is a line drive off the right fence. This has nothing to do with the way the wind's blowing or anything. Just punched it right off the fence. Big, strong man.
And it's not like he lollygagged out of the box either. I mean, Springer with that good arm and right. It was hit so hard that was only going to be a single. 2 on with 1 out for Jordy Mercer, who singled his last time. So 1, 2, 3, 4 walks issued by the Astros. Pirates have collected 4 hits. Only in the 3rd. Well, next inning we'll be talking with the man on the right, Rick Soffield. He'll be telling us every one of the Pirate signs, so we can. He'll actually be talking for us, telling us. Well, we've been curious about the base running, about the outfield positioning. Tell us a little bit about what the Pirates are intending to do this spring training.
And we got into that a little bit the other day with Clint about what the difference that they want to make with the outfield. Rick, he's kind of in charge of that during the game, moving them around, making sure those guys are in the right spots.
Yeah, every time they go into spring training, they have a number of kind of things that they'd like to try to do. Varies from year to year. Clint Hurdle with a little bit of trying to get after it this year. And Mercer strikes out. Second strikeout in the inning against James Hoyt. Oh. Hi, Kevin.
Oh, my. A little camera in the booth action. But now we got 2 cameras. We got the Snoop camera and the sneak camera.
Oh, that, yeah. Yes.
Oh, yeah, this is the view we have sitting up here. There's the guys working hard over on the radio. Yeah. Brownie, game's out there.
Yeah. Has he been looking at us the whole time?
You know, earlier when you were talking about this ballpark and how different it really is, a hard place to describe to people. It's like you have to come here and see it for yourself. It is a time machine going back to where a baseball park was like, back in, say, the 50s. But except it's got some upgrades.
Yes.
But the park itself, I mean, look at that right there. The grandstand basically right behind the dugout.
And you're really close to all the action. You
might see an old grandstand like that in the outfield somewhere at another ballpark. When you won't even nowadays. You can see
not
that.
covered like that either.
But here it is, right. It's so old school and old fashioned.
Just a few rows of seats before you get to that concourse behind the dugout. A nice outfield area, that boardwalk. You can walk all the way around now. Great for families. Great if you want to bring the buddies down. Rogers down on strikes. And we'll go to the 4th. Rick Soffield joins us next. Pirates up 2-0.
Spring Training Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the brand new all-wheel drive Toyota RAV4 Drive Hybrid. There's so much to discover with just one tank. And by UPMC, life-changing medicine. Let's go Bucks!
Fourth inning on tap. Glad you're with us. 2-0 Pirates. Nice day at the lounge. Here on the UPMC scoreboard. Pirates getting runs in the first and second. RBI single by John Jaso. Sac fly by Josh Harrison. And now Archimedes Caminero. Part of the Bucks bullpen for the season upcoming. Carlos Correa with a base hit to left.
Caminero definitely one of the power arms in that bullpen. Talking about velocities, last inning, he can hit the triple digits at times.
Strikeout an inning. And really that command improving as the year went on. That's something that probably why the Marlins weren't intent on keeping him. Well, boy, he has been a find.
Sometimes the fastball that he throws doesn't really play as hard as you would like.
Tucker. That's this one off the top of the wall. That wind didn't knock it down nearly enough, and Correa will score. That's a long double for Preston Tucker. 2-1.
Yeah, most days that ball's well out of here. He drove that right in the teeth of the wind. I was about to say, Caminero's fastball velocity sometimes doesn't play overpowering like you think it would when you see him up there and he's throwing 97, 98, sometimes 100, and guys are turning on it and hitting it hard. He's really done much better with his command, the cut down the walks, but he still needs something to get guys off that fastball, some type of off-speed pitch that really gives him a hard time. He's never really been able to develop that yet.
Yeah, one pitch works for nobody except for maybe Mariano Rivera. That's probably
well, if it's a kind of a like a trick type pitch. You know, you've seen one pitch guys like guys with splitters, or a great splitter or something like that.
This one hit well again to center. And that kept on going. It's a home run for Matt Duffy.
Wow.
Well, that's hit so well. We talked about the wind today knocking the ball down. That one was able to get through it. And the Astros, on two well hit balls, have the lead now.
Yeah, that one a little bit to the right side, so maybe the wind didn't have too much negative effect on it, but that ball was crushed.
Another power hitter, A.J. Reed, coming up. 3-2 Houston, just like that. Nice hop. Handled cleanly. And we go down to Rick Soffield joining us. Pirates third base coach. Rick, hey.
Fellas, how you doing?
Joe and Bob with you.
Hi, Joe, Bob.
And, curious about spring training so far with all. We've seen so much base running.
It is. I mean, baseball's a game of surprises, and we've had an enormous amount of base running situations early. So it's fun to have them. It's a good teaching mode. It's an opportunity to try to react correctly and get ready for St. Louis.
It looks like Rick, you guys are coming right out of the gates here, trying to be very aggressive. There's been a lot of steal attempts so far, and even some delay steal attempts. Some you guys are really looking at right now?
Well, I think Clint has opened up the toolbox and wants us to be aggressive all year, and there's so many ways to win a game other than home runs and ERA, and I think we're trying to explore every possibility so when the game tilts a certain way, we have something to answer to it.
I talked to Clint the other day also about another subject, and I want to ask you as far as the outfield. I'll wait for this one to come down before I ask the question.
That one's got to stay in the yard, though.
Way back on the track, which kind of leads me to the question. We've noticed right away that the outfielders are playing a little more shallow than maybe they did last year, and that's another thing you guys are looking to do to try and take away some of those hits that are falling in front of guys.
Well, yeah, we've got a tremendous system here and an analytical system along with the baseball people, and I think every year Neil Huntington and the group we're trying to get better. We're trying to tweak situations. We're trying to get into the best possible spots necessary in order to win a game. And in the offseason, they've come up with a new formula for us in positioning, and we're going to try to take advantage of the information that we have. And part of the information is to play a little bit more shallow in the outfield.
With fields like this, stadiums like this in Florida, can that be at times difficult with the wind and the sun to try new things?
Well, right now for right field here in Bradenton, as you guys well know, when the wind's blowing, it goes straight out to right field, as we saw that one of those home runs this inning. Yeah, it's impossible to get what we're trying to get done in a scenario like this. Michael Morse playing a little bit deeper than usual, as Gregory does when he's in there, because the facts are the facts. I mean, I think when we look at positioning, who's pitching, the weather conditions, all of it factors into where we're going to stand, and when the wind's blowing, we have to stand in a different spot.
And they got some of these other guys that have come in besides the three regulars, Rick, that are competing for a job, maybe to be the fourth outfielder, and we're seeing a lot of different guys being tried, sometimes at new positions too.
Yeah, it's really fun for them right now. A lot of guys trying to make the club. I think we're looking for as much flexibility as humanly possible in order for Clint to run a game and have us pressure the other side defensively and offensively. And like you see, you've got you'll have Florimon in center field in the second half of this ball game, and you got Morrison right. I think Clint's trying to find some combos that can give us a competitive edge in the Central.
Well, Rick, hey, thanks for coming on with us. We know we got to go coach third here in a minute.
Hey, no, I really enjoyed this. Let's do this again sometime.
Right. Absolutely, Rick.
Rick Soffield joining us. Thanks for the time. And Pena down on strikes to end the inning. Astros now have the lead, 3-2 as we send it to the bottom of the fourth. Part of beauty of spring training in Florida.
Get a nice shrimp basket inside there.
A couple of pelicans. Get out on a kayak. Me and you got to get out on a kayak one of these days.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, and you can always tweet us using the hashtag BucksBooth. Look at that.
70s. Good thing Steve had hair back then.
I think I would burn wearing that, but that is a relic. You can always tweet us. Always checking Twitter, as is our gang. Well, how about whoa, that's a little. I'm not sure which team to cheer for.
Did I say Hooks?
That's the Corpus Christi Double-A club of the Astros. Actually wear those as an homage to the old Astros popsicle tops. Here's Joe Musgrove pitching now for Houston. Yeah, what team do you like? Well, I like the Astros Double-A team, and I like the Pirates. Okay. He's got his allegiances covered.
Gonna have a game between the hooks and the curves. A lot of breaking balls in that one. I don't know if Corpus Christi would ever be in the same league as Altoona, though.
If they ever create a Double-A World Series, maybe they'll come up with that one. Not a lot of straight shooters there.
No. Hey, if you throw some hooks, though, you got to have a good sinker.
Nice line.
Yeah. Oh.
This is day one of many.
Yeah,
Get ready.
okay.
There you go. I had the chicken sandwich today. That gentleman.
That's a great little area. That's on the right field side, or down behind the right field line.
Gobert down on strikes.
All kinds of tables and just lined with places to get stuff to eat. There it is.
Plenty of room to walk too. You never like that crowded concourse.
Yeah, that's not crowded at all. Beautiful palm trees.
Even on a packed day here, still plenty of room to walk around, and I'm going to bring my daughter here when they get down tomorrow night, 3 months old, and still can take the stroller around. No big deal. Strike into Max Moroff. Nice piece of hitting back in the second inning for Moroff.
Yeah, that spot's open again. A lot of room between the bag and third baseman Duffy.
Sends it into right center, and this one will drop in for another hit. So a 2-for-2 day for Max Moroff, the reigning minor league player of the year.
And that ball was hit. I kind of thought maybe it would carry a little bit over to that right center field, but didn't do much. I had a little top spin on it.
Gives Josh Harrison a base runner. 4 for 8 now this spring for Moroff, so good start. Uh-oh. That's not my daughter, but maybe in about a year. You can. I'm getting nervous about that. Yep. Once she's able to scoot away.
Start walking. Keep them close.
Yeah, they'll be down tomorrow, and her first ball game ever will be here at McKechnie. Yeah, she seems like she wants to get out there and see the action. Hey, let's go watch the ball game. Why you got me back here?
Not going to stay on the grass. Right. Test it out. Test it out. There you go.
You got to watch out for it. Look down. There's the pitch. And Harrison today, a walk, a sac fly. Already got that uniform looking like he's in midseason form. I love the way that he dresses for the ball game. He's got that unbuttoned shirt. He's always got the socks pulled up high.
And he will always be dirty.
Moroff caught off first. And he's picked off. I thought that ball maybe got away from Pena, but could not get back in time.
Yeah, I'm not sure what. Definitely broke. Oh, there was one out. So I mean, what he did right there, the way he shuffled, and then broke, that would be like a delay steal. But since there was one out, I don't think it was a delay steal. If that would have been for the last out, I might have thought, and since they've been trying things, I might say, that was a delay steal. Maybe he lost his nerve and then decided, no, I'm not going. That's another thing about the delay. There's no changing your mind. You're out there, you better go.
Harrison is out, and so a hit and no one left for the Pirates, who trail Houston 3-2. And it's Bucks. The Osprey looking on as the Astros have the lead 3-2. You can smell that through your TV.
Well, it does look good, doesn't it?
Grilled meats and onions. That's about as good as it gets.
Like the Osprey was looking the wrong way. Game's over here on this side.
They're always season ticket holders here at McKechnie. Jarrett Hughes now on. Fourth Pirate pitcher.
Yeah, with Jarrett out there, hopefully we'll just see 3 ground balls. That's his game plan. Get that sinker going, have it ready for the first week of April.
An embarrassment of riches for the Pirates in the bullpen.
That sinker was up a little bit, wasn't it?
Kemp with a base hit, trying to stretch it to 2. And he'll be in with a hustle double. Tony Kemp trying to impress.
The sinker got up about belt high. You can see Kutch was way over into left center when that pitch was thrown home. There's no way he could help out on it. And Kemp, right from his very first step, he was running hard. They ended up getting that double pretty easily. And close at second.
5'6" out of Vanderbilt. So for those of you youngsters who maybe aren't, the tall drink of water some of these guys are in baseball these days, you can still play professional baseball. You don't have to be 6'4". Of course, Astros are split squads today, so the other 5'6" guy on the Astros, Jose Altuve, not here today. They're back at home against Toronto.
Yeah, baseball is certainly a sport, or the sport really, that you don't need to be like a physical specimen. That
be all sorts.
Yeah, you can go out
for
there
all
and,
sizes.
Yep. Run a little bit, throw. Good hand-eye coordination.
You can be
be a star.
You can be portly and still play the game. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Especially if you pitch. And a lot of very good portly pitchers.
If you can play the game, they got a spot for you. And guys from big cities, the north, the south, small towns, other countries. Really an inclusive game, and that's what makes baseball great. Now, we were talking about Hughes and a lot of the different bullpenners, and this is when we talk about how you get to the postseason and then how you win in the postseason. The Pirates have been having one of the best bullpens in baseball year after year, and this is a big reason for their success. Guys like Jared Hughes.
Jared Hughes he's kind of like that fireman. You come in all the time with guys on base to try and get an inning over with. He's one of the big reasons why the Pirates were #1 in all the major leagues last year, with stranding runners out there, at least their bullpen, coming in and not letting inherited runners score. He's very good at getting the ground ball, and so many times he would come in, get the ground ball, and it would be a double play, inning over.
Resnick hits this one
Win.
Deep to left field.
Come on, Win.
And there it goes.
Wow. That would have been so far out of here, because that wind is blowing hard and a very stiff breeze straight in from left field, and it still got out of here. And the ball looked high, too.
Well, this is the Astros. They're going to strike out a lot, and they're going to try to hit some home runs on you, too. And they have hit a pair today and another off the very top of the wall.
Think about that ball hit in their ballpark.
It might have,
with the Crawford seats there?
Yeah, if the roof was open, it might have left the entire facility. He's got a little power. He came over from the Marlins, another good-looking prospect. George Springer, the batter. Even the birds scattered. That's something you don't see a lot from Jared Hughes. You know it's early in spring training when that happens. Springer runs well, but Cervelli all over that.
That ball was hit so high, I thought there's no way that's getting out of here. Not today. I still can't believe that ball. It got back there by the light pole, too.
Yeah, you don't see that very often, especially on a day. I mean, those flags are rippling.
The thing about the wind here, too, I mean, we've talked about the stadium, so you've seen shots of it. There's no tall buildings around here, so the wind, there's nothing to slow it down. Whichever way it's blowing, it's coming in pretty hard.
Yeah, just a few seats. Not far from the river here. Lined sharply foul.
Hope no one got in front of that one. That was a bullet into the stands.
I saw an interesting photograph by the talented photographer Christopher Horner yesterday in the ball game with the Pirates. A dad reached out and got out in front of a bat that was flying in the seats, and his son, maybe 9 years old or so, looking down at his cell phone, and sure enough, the bat would have hit him right between the eyes, and Dad got the arm out just in the nick of time. Always tell your kids to be watching, and if they can't watch, then maybe try to get them behind that screen, just to be careful. And luckily everything became okay. Nice pitch here from Jared Hughes.
Jared needed a little location. Been off so far.
Getting some weak contact on Springer, and then striking out Carlos Correa. Tucker hit one just off the top of the wall in center last inning. So the Astros are coming from behind. Pirates opening up single tallies in the first and second. Caminero allowed the 3 in the 4th. After Juan Nicasio looked very good, a couple of scoreless. And then Kyle Lobstein with a 1-2-3 third inning. One of the tweets coming in today, looking at the beautiful pictures our crew is putting together today. Wants to come down to Bradenton next year. Yeah, make your plans. This is my first time to Bradenton. I had not been down here prior to last week or so, and this
unique, isn't it?
Yeah, this is really a gem. It's not the kind of Florida that's all built up and giant high rises and snarling traffic. It's a little bit more laid back and cozy.
Well,
sit down and watch a ball game.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that there's no traffic.
I didn't say no traffic, just not as snarling as Miami, for instance.
No, not like that.
Tucker grounds a base hit. He's been on all 3 times today. Now, if you go out to the beaches, you get some of that if you're going out at the wrong time of day. Now, look on the way back. No traffic.
That's Dog Beach right there. That's where you can take your dogs to. That animals are allowed right there. That's the bay. Palmasola Bay, I believe that is.
That's a good tip. I'm going to take Zuzu there. And
that's where you go with the pup.
Bring our dog next year.
Can't take the pups out on the real beach out on the Gulf. Go there. They love it. That's the causeway, kind of leading out toward the bridge that takes you to the island.
My dog cannot tell the difference between sand and snow, so our dog tries to eat the sand.
Wow.
You can imagine how that turns out.
The sand down here is white as snow, that's for sure.
Matt Duffy ringed a 2-run home run in his last time.
A nice looking slider by Hughes, but couldn't get a bite.
Jared Hughes, one of the most reliable relievers in baseball, especially the last couple of years. This one sent foul.
Another sinker that was no lower than mid-thigh at best. He's got to get that ball down. Everything that Jared throws needs to be knee-high or lower. That's what he needs to concentrate on every time he goes out there.
Otherwise, that sinker sinks right into the bat path. 1-2. Just inside. And for Hughes, one of the top 20 relievers in all the baseball regular relievers in ERA over the last 2 seasons combined. One of 3 Pirates on that list. Here's the 2-2. And a check swing. Now full on Mr. Duffy. There's 2 Matt Duffys. The Giants' Matt Duffy is Matthew Michael, and he's Matthew Edward. They played against one another 3 years back, but you can imagine how confusing that was. At least one's not a pitcher. And Hughes lost him on the walk.
Jared not used to throwing this many pitches because he doesn't come in to start innings very often. And not only did he start this one, but it's been a long inning for him.
And Ray Searage out. Now, this year the visits to the mound are timed. And
they get 30 seconds, right?
Yeah. Okay. I think it starts when they cross the foul line. That's officially when the visit begins. So you really have to hustle because you're going to lose a few seconds just getting to the mound.
Yeah, if you actually have something to say, you better hurry, get out there.
4 on the shot clock. All right, he got it off in time.
Now, what happens if he's still there talking at 0? Is there a penalty involved?
You lose your pitching coach for the rest of the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he has to go to the clubhouse.
Huh?
No, that's not true at all. I don't think there's any penalty.
You had me.
Looks like Daniel Bard in minor league camp would bridge it to Holtzcomb. He's also loosening, but he would go next inning. There's A.J. Reed. Well, the Astros last year had a home playoff game with a 2-1 lead over Kansas City last year. And that one's rolled through the left side. They're going to send Preston Tucker, and he'll come in.
It almost looked like Reed was just made a decision. Okay, I got a sinker baller out there. The shift's on. I'm going to just try and hit a single through that other side. And he accomplished it. And that'll be it for Jared.
A 3-run inning for Houston. And the last year, in terms of pitches, he only had 6 more outings where he threw more pitches than he has today. So spring training will step aside. Jared Hughes is done. Astros have the lead here in the 5th. Trees and sunshine. Spring training baseball from Bradenton here on this sunny Sunday afternoon. Astros have the lead 6-2. And Daniel Bard coming over from minor league camp in to try to finish the inning.
I thought it was Ray at first, but then I saw it was a right-hander. At 54, I thought we were calling in Ray.
So he brought in a guy and gave him a shirt, apparently. That's nice.
Yeah, nice of him.
I'll give you the shirt off my back. That's the kind of guy that Ray Searage is.
Ray with his multicolored pen. Always in his hand.
So Daniel Bard, a major league veteran. High fly to center. McCutcheon's got to find it.
Now he does. Had the hands up for a moment. Didn't see it.
Well, Bard gets the out. Houston gets 3. 6-2 Astros.
Pirates Spring Training Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, Health for All, and by Barrel Automotive. Visit barrel.com to learn more about our 3 conveniently located collision centers. Let's go Bucks!
Bottom of the 5th. Spring training baseball from Bradenton. 6-2 Houston. And a great day to watch a game here from McKechnie Field. It's been very breezy, though, and that has led to some funny balls in the air today. Joe Musgrove in his 2nd inning working to Francisco Cervelli.
A lot of the guys in the lineup right now getting their last at bat of the afternoon. We're heading through the first 5.
Now, what do they do after they're done for the day? Do they hang around? Or what happens?
I don't know. I was never here this late. I don't know what they do.
I guess it's a little different for a pitcher.
And nowadays they make them stay a little bit longer, but used to, if you weren't pitching, they would give you some busy work and then you'd sneak out.
That's about some homework or what?
One time, Rick Russell, you know the batting cage that's on wheels that they have out here for batting practice,
Sure.
and they wheel it, just like a little backstop cage. And it sits down there in the corner.
Back over in right field. Cervelli strikes out, still looking for a hit on his birthday.
One day before the game was going to start, I was standing out there. I think I might have had a fungo in my hand or something. And Big Daddy, Rick Russell, said, "Hey, come here." And the batting cage used to sit actually down where nobody could see it. And there's the batting cage right there.
That's back in right field. Yeah.
And so we walked out there, and he stood in the middle of it, right up against it, and he takes a couple swings with the fungo, like he's trying to hit flies or something. And then he hands me the fungo, and he says, "If anybody asks, you saw me take a couple swings in the cage." And then he went and got in his car and left. But that's the kind of things they would tell you. They would say, "Hey, go in the cage, take a couple swings, and then leave whenever you want." So that leaves a lot of room for interpretation.
McCutcheon takes a strike.
And Milt May was our hitting coach back in those days. He used to have a house right out on the river with a dock and a boat. And we knew where the keys to the boat were hanging in the garage. So a lot of times back in those days, by the 1st inning, we were on Milt's boat out in the river somewhere fishing. So I don't know what they do here when they get taken out of the game.
Well, Milt May doesn't have a place down here, but Steve Blass does, so maybe they're all at his place.
Well, no, Milt still.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he still lives down there.
Well,
they moved from that house.
Well, maybe John Jaso and company could, when they come out, they can go hang out with the ex-Pirate catcher. 3-2. There's a base hit for McCutcheon. All the Pirate regulars in the starting lineup today have gotten on base one way or another, except for Rogers.
He hung that breaking ball right over the inside part of the plate. Easy work for Kutch just to drop the head of the bat right on it and line it in the left.
First hit of the spring for McCutcheon. John Jaso. He's had a nice spring at the plate. 3 out of 4, another walk. A couple of those hits against lefties too. Well, why not? Trying the bunt.
They're going to give it to you.
Now, we talked about after that single back in the first that drove in the first run, how he seems like as we're seeing more and more of Jaso, he's a good all-around hitter. He's going to just try to give or get what he's given.
Yeah, not you're going to be your typical middle of the lineup guy trying to hit the ball over the fence. He's just going to get his hits, get on base.
That big wide stance too.
Here's one of the things that, you know, you see some guys maybe trying to bunt a little bit more in these situations when there's no third baseman and it's there, but they try to do it like they're trying to drag they're trying to drag bunt for a hit. There's no secret. You don't have to do it. Bunt more like it's a sacrifice. Square around early and just get it down.
Instead, it goes back to the mound. That'll move McCutchen in at second with 2 away here in the 5th inning. And Pirates Spring Training Baseball live with the MLB.com at Bat app. You can stay connected all spring with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet. I'm listening to 3 other games simultaneously right now. Oh, that was a good play. Oh, that was in another game. Sorry, I should really focus in on Michael Morse.
How about that pitch? Did you see that?
You can do that now. That's what's fun about it. You can take games with you in the car.
Oh, I love to be like yesterday, for instance, sitting at home listening to the game up in Orlando.
Me and John Wayner had that for you on Pirates.com.
I was listening to the Braves broadcast, but no, just
really?
kidding. No.
Well, you just want to get a little comparison.
Yeah. See what they think of us.
All right.
But you can do that if you want. See what the other guys are saying about your team.
There's a base hit for Morse. McCutchen got a good jump. Here comes Springer's throw. It's cut off, and the Pirates get their 3rd run on the 2nd hit of the day for Michael Morse.
And that one wasn't off the wall, but it was still hit very sharply. So with 2 outs and an excellent speed that you see from McCutchen. No problem him scoring on it. Michael Morse really enjoyed the fact that he got traded to Pittsburgh at the end of last season. He was having a rough year last year after having a lot of success in some other places.
I really like him. I talked to him in depth the other day about his experience winning the World Series with the Giants a couple of years ago. And he says there are a lot of similarities between that Giants team in the clubhouse and this Pirates outfit. Fly ball center for Marisnik. And the Pirates will settle for 1 on a couple of hits in the 5th. 6-3 Astros.
John Holtzcomb is on the mound to throw the 6th inning. And if you followed the story of him the last 3 seasons, you know he's had to overcome quite a bit just to even get to the big leagues back in 2014. Now that story was a remarkable one. Started the year in independent ball, ended up in the big league playoff game in October. Well, 2015 didn't really go his way. He dealt with injuries and control problems during the baseball season and then lost his brother Lincoln, a former Pirates minor leaguer, in a car crash in December. I asked John if this camp reminds him of 2014, where he's trying to overcome adversity again to get back to the big leagues. He told me this is obviously nothing new coming off a bad year. He said the main thing is to get back to his mindset of 2014. He said he knows what it feels like to be locked in and at your best, and he also what it feels like to not be at your best. He said when you have success like he did 2 years ago, you kind of forget the amount of work it took to even get there. And this serves as a reminder that he needs to do what he needs to do this camp is to do that work to get there, Joe and Bob, again.
And sometimes, as they say, adversity can make you stronger. And hopefully all the best for John Holtzcomb and family. And has been an interesting guy on the mound. He has had some success, and last year Indianapolis, a very fine year.
Well, with him, it's always about the control. That's what we look for all the time when he goes out there. When he has good control, he's throwing strikes. We know what he can do with that fine arm he has, but can't hurt himself with the base on balls.
That's tough for a guy that 6'7" to really kind of be able to get that command. It seems like the guys at the taller guys have more and more issues with that, especially early on in their careers.
Well, it's something that I think almost all hard throwers kind of fight with, and most of your big guys are like that. They're hard throwers. I think a lot of it, they know that fastball is their bread and butter, and you try to kind of overdo it when you're young. That you don't know how to find that little, where you back off just a little bit to where you got your command, but not so much to where you're losing your stuff. So you're trying to find that balance where you're just not overthrowing, but at the same time you're still taking advantage of the talent that God gave you, that great fastball.
And Holtzcomb's is very, very good. Now 28 years old, and a graduate of a lot of different places. Australia and independent baseball. So again, a testament to a guy who is no stranger to having some things challenge him and being able to succeed from it. Getting the strikeout on Kemp. And Robbie's got our starter today, Juan Nicasio.
What's it been like so far for you with the Pirates?
Yeah, it's amazing, unbelievable. They're 26, I take a lot of great time, just training, a lot of good play, young, great stuff. I enjoy it.
All right, a little audio issue there, but we can interpret that Juan had a good outing today. 2 scoreless innings.
Talk about command. I mean, that was what he was able to show. I think able to put that fastball where he wanted to, both sides of the plate, and the slider that you were talking about, how important that is to him. That looked pretty good.
Crisp most times.
And who knows? Maybe was since their bullpen, they made a reliever out of him last year, but definitely has started in the past, and at some point this year you always need that starting depth. Maybe he will be a rotation guy for us.
Very rarely do you get through with 5, so wanting to see if some of these veteran guys can come in and be able to back up the 5 slated to start the year in the rotation, because a lot of the guys we saw in yesterday's ball game, that was kind of like the future rotation stars. It's a walk to Marisnik, with Tyone and Glasnow starting in the game, and some of the other guys that will be coming up perhaps in future years. Stephen Brault, Chad Kuhl, and Trevor Williams also pitching in that game. But those guys, they haven't pitched in the big leagues yet. You kind of want to make sure you have that veteran depth too.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no reason not to. I mean, you don't want to get caught short. During the wintertime, you try to collect as much talent as you can.
Teoscar Hernandez is in for Marisnik, pinch running.
Yeah, big lead there. Be thinking about taking off here with 2 outs. Holscomb struggling a little bit with his location now. The ball 4, we saw that go to the backstop. His first pitch, quite a ways up and in.
33 swipes for Hernandez last year with the Hooks in Corpus Christi. Two 2-0 to George Springer. 0 for 3 today. What do you like in the American League West? Astros now all of a sudden a popular pick. Have you thought about that yet? A little too early.
I want to be popular, so I mean, without knowing anything, just seeing the Astros without seeing the Astros, I don't even have to look at it. Just for what they did last year, you have to, maybe say, okay, it's going to be them. I mean, I can't imagine that a few years ago I would be saying that.
I'm going to go with the Texas Rangers.
The Rangers? Okay. Another popular pick.
I like their depth. I like what they're doing. They've got me choked up.
I know. That wind might push that one away. Yes, it did. I'm sure that on another day that ball might have been caught, but the wind just pushed that up into the netting. Yeah, a few years ago, I don't think I would have ever saw myself saying, okay, yeah, Houston, they're going to be competitive in the American League West. But and I really tipped my hat to them. What a great job they did, turning this around and definitely being somebody that you got to talk about when you speak of the contenders.
Right. Springer down on strikes. Go to the bottom of the 6th. 6-3.
Scoreboard at 6-3 Astros here in the 6th inning. We thank you for bearing with us. Our audio issues seem to have been resolved. We're talking to Juan Nicasio. Had a good start today for the Pirates. Juan, what has the experience been like for you so far with the Pirates?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I have a good experience here. I have great team, good people here, like the young player. I take a good time here. I'm every day, Santi, with a lot of people here, Luriano. I talking with him every day. He told me like this organization, like great organization, and nothing ready to go.
How helpful has Liriano been with you since you came to the Pirates?
Yeah, you know, like I talking with him every day. You know what I mean? Like he take care of me. He told me everything when he come here and what happened. He told me like the great organization here and good pitching call. You know what I mean? Good staff, and I'll be good here.
How comfortable are you with your role, whether you're going to be a starter or whether you're going to be a reliever?
You know, like it's nothing new for me, like be a starter and be a reliever, because I be a starter in the past. For last year I pitched in the bullpen, and now I take care of my team. In my job, like he go to the bullpen, I try like hoping the team win, and he go start every 5 days. I try like be the boss. You know what I mean? Like I know worry about that. Like he go to the bullpen, I'll be good to the bullpen. Go starting, I'll be good to starting. I try like hoping the team win.
Sounds like it'll be a lot of fun. Juan, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
All right, Joe, it's our McDonald's player interview. Juan Nicasio.
A couple of scoreless innings, and Jason Rogers getting on the board with a double to lead off this 6th inning. But Nicasio saying that, hey, no matter what the role is, I just want to pitch, and I think he can be successful here.
Remember when you were talking about Michael Moore saying that the way the clubhouse is reminds him of a winning type team, and that's the kind of stuff you get on a winning type team. Guys are truly willing to do whatever it takes, that they're not getting all carried away in their personal stuff. You have and it's when they say that, it's legitimate. It's not just going through the motions and saying what they think people want to hear. It's, whatever it takes, I'll be there, I'll do it. Whether it's in the bullpen, whether it's playing second base, whether it's being a utility guy, whatever it is, I'm willing to do that for the good of the team. And that's the type of attitudes that you have all through that clubhouse. You got to really tip your hat to the leadership on this team that has set that up. The veteran guys that are in the clubhouse, like McCutchen, Clint, as the manager. I mean, they have set the tone, and that's the way it's going to be. You put the team first, and for a number of seasons now, that's the way that the Pirates have gone about their business. Team first.
Adam Frazier in the ballgame and left. First at bat for him today. Now with Michael Morris, who's won a World Series, has come in. Ryan Vogelsong added, won a Para World Series with the Giants. Continuing to add their voices.
I'm looking forward to seeing Ryan pitch. I haven't seen him yet out on the mound. He has pitched, obviously, and done well, but asked a couple of people about how he looks, and a lot of positive things to say about Vogelsong. He's still got a lot of gas left in that tank.
David Paulino,
a veteran guys that knows how to win.
Yeah, and we think about velocity so much these days from pitchers, and just because you throw hard doesn't mean you're successful, and just because you don't doesn't mean you're not.
Exactly.
And so Vogelsong trying to get back after a bumpy season last year, but in a very good environment. It seems something maybe just isn't going right. The Pirates have been able to find that little thing that can kind of tweak what you've been not doing to get yourself the way you're used to.
Absolutely. Ray Searage, very good at watching somebody throw and immediately thinking whether it's something mechanical or maybe just the way they're going about their job mentally, what they're thinking about when they're out on the mound. I mean, he's been very good at that and making those adjustments, and having the guys that didn't have a lot of success in someplace else come in here and pitch well. A lot of times it's all about the control.
Ray Searage is continuing to be lauded throughout baseball. It's a group effort, but certainly his acumen really helping so many guys
there's no
resurrect their careers.
Yeah,
really.
there's no magic wand. It doesn't. You can't do that to everybody. But there's been enough guys now that have come here and really made great improvements on their season before that you have to really tip your hat to Ray and say, hey, great work and really what Ray has done and what they've all done. But since we're talking about this subject, the pitching, Ray's been a huge part of turning this situation in Pittsburgh around.
Well, we'll see who is next on that list. Maybe several guys this year. 1-1 to Juan Diaz. Now this is here. This isn't just at somewhere down the street or back in Pittsburgh. This is right here. You can watch the game on TV.
It's out there fairly close to where the old clubhouse used to be. Turned it into a bar. That's fitting.
You mean to say after the game?
Yeah, there might have been a few beers there one time or another.
Well, the ice bins. There you go, Plaza Bar. So those old ice bins, you wouldn't sit in them and put your arm in there after the game. That's for just to keep everything else cold.
I wasn't really big on I was one of the few guys that shunned the ice.
Curve stays up. 2-2 on Diaz. Did you go with heat?
No,
it's nothing.
No, I don't want anything. If you saw me with an ice pack or something on, you knew that there was something wrong. Now, most everybody just does it automatically, but I only did it if there was a reason to. That's the new clubhouse, by the way.
Rolled up the middle, and Diaz with a base hit. Rogers is going to score, and Frazier's going to move to third after Hernandez couldn't pick up the ball. And the Pirates inching closer at 6-4.
Right over the rubber.
Give Hernandez an error to allow Frazier to get to third. It's a single and an RBI for Diaz. Former Cleveland shortstop for a brief time. Now Alan Hansen.
He's had a good spring.
Defensively and offensively. 4 out of 6. A couple of RBIs. He had another sensational play yesterday. And belts this one down the right field line, but foul.
A lot of tools for Hansen. He could be a very good major league player.
This is what spring training is interesting for, because Jung Ho Gong, is he ready for opening day? Is it going to be late April? Is it going to be May? Just don't know yet. And so is there going to be a spot perhaps in the infield for somebody? And well, there are a lot of looks given to Hansen and many others in camp, but Hansen very well thought of.
I think for a while now he's been looked at as an everyday player for the future for the Pirates as he's come through the minor leagues. A lot of, like I said, a lot of athletic skills. Good with the glove, excellent range out there, very fast.
Same with that guy's hands. That's about the only time a guy with a Cardinals hat you shake his hand. No, good sports are winners. We know that. Oh, 2. And poked foul. Watch out, Rick Soffield.
I think Rick might have thought that was hit harder than it was.
Is he flashing the Z?
It looked like it, didn't it? I'm not sure.
Trying to bring it back. Whoa. It's not the regular season yet. He doesn't need to make a play on that one.
Now, I wonder what the sign will be this year. Come up with something every year. What will it be this year when somebody gets a big hit?
If anyone knows anything about signs, it's that guy. Another 0-2. Hanson fighting him off. This one's fair, and it's going to get the run home as they'll get one out, forcing Diaz. Hanson an RBI. Pirates pulled it within 6-5. So Hanson with a good at bat to get the run home.
Get that ball put in play. He's going to always be tough to double, so he knew that a ground ball would pull the Pirates within one. And he might try to get himself to second base here.
Running on the first pitch. And he'll get in there.
Easily. Well, there's just one out. Go ahead and take third.
Already the third steal this spring for Alan Hanson.
Well, it's
those strides.
You have to, when you're a young guy, you got to show all your tools. And since stealing bases and being aggressive on the bases is a theme in the spring training camp, well, that's one of the things you do well. So go for it. Go at it. Take third. Let's go.
Got a righty batter up.
Go ahead.
Trying to lull him to sleep.
Yeah, one out. It'd be big to be able to get over to third base here. Bring the infield in. They'll have to pinch off the. Well, they don't have to, but you'd think they might try and pinch off tie and run. Still just the 6th inning.
See if they give him the go sign. Jacob Stallings a swing and a miss. 6'5" catcher.
I would be surprised if they're not letting him run if he wants right now, because that's another you want to see from these young guys what they can do. So during the season you might give them a stop sign and say no, that's fine, but in here just hey, if you think you got to jump, go for it.
Kind of evaluate their judgment.
So whatever the green light is that you can run if you want, I'm sure he has it. We forgot to ask Rick about giving us the signs. Had him on earlier. Forgot all about that.
Well, maybe he'll give us a cheat sheet. 35 steals for Hanson last year at Indy. He's going. And Stallings will spoil it. Well, he can really motor. Even him jogging looks fast.
They had a little momentum as he was creeping in. He was leaning a little bit, and he jogs back quickly.
And that was slow motion. He's the tying run here in the 6th. And Polino spending a lot of attention on him.
If he's got any kind of a decent spin move, that would be what would get Hanson, because he's trying to run. It's not that he's just trying to get a good jump and get off the base in case there's a base hit. No, he's trying to steal. So with a guy like that spin move can get him.
Now even 2-2.
But Polino doesn't have much of a leg kick for even being as tall as he is. He pretty much slides home. It's tough for a guy without much of a leg kick to have that deceptive type spin move, where they lift the leg and spin around and toward the inside. So if you see him lift his leg up very far, right away that tells you he's not going home. So I should freeze.
Good read from Hansen. Stallings, meanwhile, like Hansen's at bat, spoiling a lot and having Polino have to throw a lot of pitches here in this 6th inning.
I wonder if they'll get to where they put a clock on the catcher going out.
Well, I thought that when they brought out that rule, it's for pitching coaches and managerial visits to the mound, but they have nothing on the limits by catchers, either on time or
the number
how
of
often
times they can go out there.
Stallings.
And again on the move.
Well, it's I mean, you would know, having been in a battery. I mean, you really can't limit some things. Like, you can't limit throwing over to first base or a catcher coming out maybe trying to counsel a young pitcher. Can you? In terms of frequency or time, it seems like that would be against the whole way the game is played.
Yeah, I see your point. I think that there are a lot of useless meetings at the mound by the catcher, though. That what's he doing now going out there? I mean, I think that a lot during a ball game. Don't say it, but there's times where I think that, like, okay, now what? So I don't know. And there were times where you'd be out on the mound and you're just like, what are you doing out here? And I've seen veteran pitchers, tell their younger catchers, hey, don't even take a step out here. You stay where you're at. But the game has changed where they've given so much power to the catchers as far as calling the game. Used to the pitcher would call the game, and the catcher would just kind of make suggestions. And he would either nod, yes, no. So I don't know. Things have just changed a little bit like that, but I don't understand why the catchers have to go to the mound so many times during an inning.
Well, these are the new changes for this season, trying to get the time of game even lower, as baseball's average game time shrunk by more than 6 minutes because of the initiatives brought in before last year. And Stallings works a long at bat for a walk. Good at bat by Jacob Stallings. And now bucks on the pond for Pedro Florimon and A.J. Hinch, manager of the Astros. I'm going to say that the day is done for David Polino. Pausing here with the Pirates having the potential go-ahead run aboard in the 6th. Glad you're with us here on this sunny afternoon. And we're seeing a little comeback here from the Buccos in the 6th inning. A couple of runs across. A couple of men on here. Nice breezy day. Those palm trees and flags telling us that. As Edward Cabrera, one-time Rocky, is the 5th Astros pitcher. There you go. Got yourself a treat today. I bought it. I'm going to eat it.
Gotta share.
Sharing is caring, Bob.
That's a good point.
You got a T-shirt that says that. That's not true. But
you want some of my water?
Yeah. You got any left?
Yeah,
we know what you've been drinking today. You got your coffee.
I haven't even cracked it open. There you go.
All right.
I want you to have plenty of water. I don't want you to be a cranky bear.
Yeah. You know, I like my hydration.
It'll keep you hydrated.
Here's Pedro Florimon. And big day yesterday. 3 RBIs with a pair of singles for Pedro. Yeah, it's warmer down here. You gotta stay hydrated. They keep telling you, right?
I try to hydrate every evening.
Yeah. From what I've seen, you do a good job of it. Ramon takes low. 1 ball, 1 strike. I think the kids are liking that. Well, that's the same kid. I was going to say, all these kids today with the pillbox hat on. That's the same kid from earlier.
It's going to be a popular hat. Be a lot of people sporting those.
Every Sunday. This one hit toward the gap in left center. And it's going to plate a pair of Pirates. Florimon around the bases. He's going to try for 3, and he's got a 2-run triple in the Bucks with the lead again, 7-6. Big couple of days for Pedro Florimon. He's driven in 5 the last couple of afternoons.
Yeah, he was able to drive that again into that wind we've been talking about. Had a nice carry, got through there. Looked like some kind of an off-speed pitch that was down. That's a hard pitch to hit that hard. And I'll tell you, they're watching Florimon get into third base easy, but Stallings, the catcher running in front of him, was pretty impressive. The way he read that, I don't know if it was all him or if Nick Leyva was giving him a little, coaching over there at first, but immediately realizing that ball is in the gap, go. And as fast as Hansen is, he had some company crossing home plate. That was impressive base running all the way from first.
With the drawn in infield.
Safe.
Nice slide by Florimon. And the Pirates lead at 8-6.
A nice base running again. Good jump on that contact play.
I love his slide here.
And that throw just a little high and maybe to the first base side really opened up a place for Florimon to come in and throw that hand out, catch the edge of home plate.
If the throw is high, get low.
Yeah, they're not supposed to. They can't block the plate anymore anyway, right?
Right.
At least 2 years ago they couldn't.
A lot of new rules in recent years.
Last year, though, I think that rule might have been ignored a little bit last year. We went from seeing it called every other day to not seeing it called the entire season.
So Dan Gamache gets an RBI on the fielder's choice. And the Pirates with a 5-run 6th. Another comeback. We've been seeing that a lot here in this first week of spring training. Billy Garcia, another good-looking hitter down on the farm.
It's one of the things that happens sometimes in spring training. You watch those box scores, and you can see as soon as you get into the 6th inning, all of a sudden there's a little more offense. Well, you got those hungry hitters coming in all the time in the 6th inning.
Garcia on the center for Hernandez.
And then you also might start seeing some pitchers that are probably going to be pitching in the minor leagues later in ball games. So that combination, sometimes you see where, okay, after the 6th inning, well, where's all this scoring coming? Like today, you look out there, bottom of the 6th, 5 runs on the board.
They've been comeback kids, and Clint Hurdle was joking about how, all right, well, we should switch those guys around. He almost said he apologized to those guys. And I should start you guys, get that lead first.
Well, the everyday players, I mean, even though this year there's a plan in place to try and play the games more competitive, still, though, it's like, okay, they know what their job is to get ready for the season. And there's not that sense of urgency that you have on guys that are on the bubble or maybe even know that they're going to AAA, but they want to impress before they get there.
And Gamache.
I think we need a replay on that one. We need a review.
Called out, trying to advance on the ball in the dirt.
Thought he got in there.
But the Pirates strike for 5 in the 6th inning. And Pedro Florimon already with another couple of RBIs on his big triple today. Pirates Spring Training Baseball on Root Sports is presented by McDonald's. And let's see if Gamache was indeed safe as you thought. Oh, good eyes, Bob.
Didn't need a replay for that one. I'm very surprised to see the out call go up. But as you said, spring training for everybody.
This is Wilfredo Boscan coming on for the Pirates. Now with a lead after that 5-run 6th inning. Part of that guys that they're looking for that might factor in sometime this season.
Absolutely.
Boscan still waiting to get into his first big league game. He's been in a big league clubhouse before. 3 times last year called up to the Bucks. Never got into the ball game, but last year a good year in Indianapolis. New shortstop Danny Worth Takes down low. Boscan also pitching in Venezuela as a starting pitcher and pitched well in the offseason. Gamache with a nice play. Some panache. He's been a good-looking defensive first baseman in the little time we've seen him this spring.
That was a nice dive into that hole. That wasn't one where you're diving in front of the second baseman. Yeah, that one was going to be through for a hit.
Helping out Boscan. Now Preston Tucker, a couple of hits today, drove in a run back in the 4th inning. Pirates with that big 5-run 6th inning had the lead early. Astros came back with 3 runs in the 4th and 5th innings, and then an uprising. Pedro Florimon with that 2-run triple drove in 3 runs in his 2 at-bats yesterday. He's hot.
Yeah, the guys that are involved for that maybe extra infield spot, they're all playing well right here at the beginning.
And Florimon playing in center field right now, so
trying to show some of his versatility.
Just missed making it 2-2.
I think that's another change that you've seen over the last few decades in baseball, with the pitching staffs getting bigger and bigger. You don't see a 10-man staff anymore, or even 11 really. So the versatility of the bench players is much more important nowadays than it used to be. You don't have that specialist type guy. You don't have just a guy that's a real good base runner for late in the game, or a guy can't hit at all but he's a good glove man, so we keep him. You don't have that. Everybody that's on that bench, because you can't have as many bench players, they have to be able to do multiple things. So that you want to show, hey, if I'm asked to go out and play in the outfield, I can do it and do well.
Infielder, outfielder. A lot of times you'll see switch hitters make rosters.
But, we saw that a lot. Jay when he first got here, that he was able to show that he could go anywhere. He made great plays in the outfield. He would at third base just wow you with some of his defensive work there. But that's how you get up here, is you got to show that you can do a little of everything.
Gamache again. 2 gone, and this year's Pirates home run 5K and 10K presented by Allegheny Health Network and Highmark. Set for Saturday, April 16th. You receive a Tech t-shirt and a ticket voucher good for a Pirates game when you sign up. And families can join in the fun with the Chick-fil-A 1-mile family fun run. Register today at pirates.com/homerun. Bradenton, Florida, here at McKechnie Field. Underneath the palm trees, an 8-6 Pirates lead. Some of the birds flying by in our picture, and you can tell we're in Florida and not over in the Cactus League in Arizona when you see all the water fowl working through the picture.
A lot of seagulls.
That one is also foul.
A few big blackbirds way up there high too. Those are the ever-present buzzard. A lot of those here, but
yeah, that's your goal.
There you go. There's the goal.
We'll see you in San Francisco. Now you said there's some other birds.
See, they're circling. There's 3 of them over there.
Okay, so
those are buzzards.
I don't know if we can get those, but
the gulls are down close.
Yeah, those are the ones that. Now, what are they looking for? They're looking. Tell us here.
Popcorn, hot dogs.
Birdman. And here's a can of corn.
I got a good seagull story, I'll tell you.
Oh,
next time.
Well, let's stretch and hear that seagull story. Pirates on top 8-6. And on the latest edition of In the Room, head to the practice rink with Jim Rutherford to watch his son play hockey and get a cooking lesson with Brian Dumoulin and much more. In the Room, Tuesday after postgame on Root Sports. And Laura Cabrera back out for Houston. Pirates on top 8-6. Gift and Gope up for the first time. And we're talking about all these guys trying to impress, maybe coming north with the Bucks as an infielder or super utility or mega utility man or whatever we're calling him. But and Gope has flashed some leather this spring.
You know, in the old days, and Gope might have a place in the big leagues, even if he didn't hit, because he is that well respected as a glove. Just a guy you could put out there at late innings and just be strictly a glove guy. But he's the type of guy that you can't carry that player anymore. You got to be able to hit some, and that's the he's quit switch hitting now. He's hitting right-handed all the time, trying to get that bat of his going because his glove is fantastic.
And a situation that he has participated in some international play that with South Africa. That has enabled him to kind of open the eyes.
You were talking about earlier about baseball is a game for all sizes and whatever country you're from. South Africa, I mean, it really is a game for everyone.
Well, he was a big key in the qualifier game against Australia, and boom, a home run for Ngope.
Well, he knew it too, didn't he?
Starting off the ball game, and think about that, trying to get South Africa in the World Baseball Classic. They ended up losing, though, to Australia, which, of course, they have professional baseball over there in their summer,
right,
in the wintertime. And South Africa, but on the map now with guys like Ngope. That'll be next year during this time. We'll see the World Baseball Classic. Look at that. South Korea and Fort Meade, Florida represented on the backs of those shirts. Now, baseball very much a world game. Eduardo Cabrera from the Dominican Republic, from Bani. And Elias Diaz in the ball game is a pinch hitter here. So, you know, nations large and small.
There was some talk. I read somewhere that they're investigating maybe having a game or two over in London during the regular season. I think maybe similar to something that the NFL, you know, how the NFL usually goes over there.
Something out of a Stephen King novel. Working.
Well, see how once you start feeding them, they're all over the place. They're like just hundreds of them immediately.
Please use the receptacle.
A few years ago, I must not have gone fishing one day. I was actually sitting at a game, and I'm looking at it and I'm looking at the birds, and they were all out there by the what do you call it? The batter's eye, the big green thing out there, and thinking, wow, that must be horrible for the hitter having to look out there, all those white birds, and there's a huge flock of them. And then a light went off in my head. I'm like, wow, I got an idea.
As a pitcher.
You know, as soon as I started this last inning, it was the third out.
Well, you can keep telling stories, Bob, because we want to hear the end of this one. Right. We'll have to finish it in the eighth. 8-6 Bucks.
Pirates Spring Training Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by McDonald's All-Day Breakfast. Breakfast has been liberated. By Kenny Ross, just ask a neighbor. And by UPMC, life-changing medicine. Let's go Bucks!
Eighth inning here from Bradenton. Glad you're with us here on this Sunday. Pirates have an 8-6 lead, a 5-run sixth inning, putting them back on top. And the lefty is Kelvin Marte, picking up for Boscan, who pitched a 1-2-3 seventh.
Got a 2-run lead to hold on to. And Pirates can put this one in the win column for spring training.
I got to hear the rest of the story. If you weren't with us, Bob was talking about the birds.
Well, we've showed a lot. I mean, they can be just a huge flock of them. And there was out there, they were circling in front of that batter's eye, and I was just thinking about, man, how can the hitters see anything? It was horrible. And then I got an idea. So I went into the clubhouse and into the little room where we used to make sandwiches, and I got a loaf of bread. And there used to be nothing out beyond the fence. It was just some garages and a couple warehouses and stuff out there. So I walked out there with my loaf of bread and got in between the fence and the batter's eye. It was about 10 feet there you could stand. and I started ripping up the bread and throwing it in the air. Have you ever done that on the beach? You know what happens? They just swarm to you from everywhere in the world. So within 30 seconds, I have 1,000 of those seagulls all over me, just like swooping in, and I'm in front of that batter's eye. I'm doing this while the other team's hitting, of course. And so then when they're done hitting, then I put the bread away. When they come back up to hit again, I start flipping the little pieces of bread, small enough to where nobody could really see them except the birds. And nobody really understands, why are the birds going crazy out there? And then that day afterwards, I asked Van Slyke if he noticed what was going on. He said, yeah, I've never seen anything like that. The birds were just absolutely going out of their minds. I told him what I did, and he did that again several games in a row. He would take bread out like in his pockets and stuff, and he would, like, as soon as the other team would start hitting, he would start throwing it out on the field behind him. And so it was always covered with those white birds all the time when the other team was hitting. He did that all the time.
Birdman Andy Van Slyke.
Anything, even in spring training, we were looking to get an edge all the time.
Well, now you know why the Pirates had all those good spring training records.
Oh, yeah. It was all about the birds.
Well, that game was for the birds, right? And Van Slyke's eyes.
You always have to figure out what's going on. Why were all those birds out in center field? Only when the other team was hitting. It's like we had them trained.
Well, that is as sly as can be. This one's had enough. 8th inning, okay. White, deep to right. And this one's going to find its way out of here. That wind blowing straight out to right field, and Tyler White has tied the game at 8.
2-run lead didn't last long.
Reed scoring ahead after that single. And the Astros have hit 3 home runs today.
They had some bread in center field. That wouldn't happen.
Save those rolls from the restaurant.
Yeah.
Now that wind has been a big factor today.
This was a wind-blown home run. The wind's blowing that way, and it just wouldn't come down.
It has both helped and hurt the Pirates today. Marte a little bad luck on that fly ball. Only gave up 5 home runs all of last year in his time at AA Richmond. You ever play in Richmond with the Braves?
Yep, AAA then.
They were AAA, yeah.
It was a different ballpark than they are in now.
What was that, the Diamond?
No, that was before the Diamond.
Oh.
I'm trying to think of the name.
Pre-Diamond.
Yeah, it was, I don't know.
Richmond Ballpark?
War Memorial or some kind of a... No, that wasn't it. It'll come to me probably after we're off the air.
And Gope.
Wow.
That was a tough hop, and Gamache with a beautiful scoop, too.
Table for 2 on that one. I think that's going to stick.
The restaurant.
Yeah, reservations at Gamache.
Yeah, Dan Gamache right there, the first baseman. Kidding with him about his last name. It sounds like a restaurant.
A nice restaurant.
Yeah, white tablecloth.
You got a dress to go there.
Yeah. Gamache. And then Gope. Good feet, good hands, too. Really nice looking shortstop. Yeah. I don't know if there's, baseball's always got all those great nicknames from long ago. You try to get guys with some more nicknames. So how about the restaurant for Dan Gamache? Got a couple of weeks at least. Let's see how long we can keep it going. Keeps making plays like that. We'll have a whole year.
How many of those Michelin stars are the best?
Oh, there you go.
Was it 3 stars is the best one? 5?
5 spoons.
He would have a lot of stars.
Yeah. 4.5 on Yelp for sure. for Gamache. Yeah, it's white tablecloth. Probably have to wear slacks. Maybe a jacket or no jacket for dinner.
Yeah, you might have to wear a jacket to Gamache.
For dinner. But lunch.
Yeah, they might have served lunch.
Yeah. No lunch.
It's a dinner only.
Okay.
Probably have those chefs that are yelling at people in the back.
I feel like I could get snails there. I don't know if I've ever eaten snails, but that would be a restaurant where you could get snails. Gamache.
Yeah, definitely. Escargot.
So if he opens it, the native of Rhode Island, we're going to have a little ways to go to get out to it. Maybe I'll open one in Pittsburgh. We got a 1-out walk. And that'll get Stallings to come out. Clint Hurdle now in the shade.
Stallings a big man. He's out there on the mound. He'd put you in the shade.
6'5" catcher.
Yeah, you don't see catchers that tall. He really noticed it just that he got out there on that mound and he was kind of looking straight down at Marte.
Stallings, the son of a great coach at Vanderbilt, Kevin Stallings, a basketball coach. This is Teoscar Hernandez batting for the first time. There's Stallings. Now, you see how he's taller than the umpire when he stands up? He used to have a lot of trouble as a kid. He was always tall. And even in his crouch, sometimes the umpires weren't able to see over him. This one hit very well to center. And Florimon can't throw enough bread at it.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, that's going to get out of here. Second home run of the inning. And the Astros in this wild affair have retaken the lead 10-8. Well, Hernandez with 17 home runs last year in Double-A ball.
You know, I did see right there in the replay, you do see some birds fly, but it didn't bother him.
That's
only one.
It's the kind of focus that he needs to make the major leagues, huh?
Yep. And we had one of those days with the wind blowing straight in from left. We thought, well, maybe not a lot of offense today. It's 18 runs now we've seen.
That's why you come out and see the ball game, huh? Never know.
Well, at this ballpark, that is for sure.
John Kemmer in there now, so Marte.
There's a lot of bread left.
Yeah. Talking about the birds, and
you need to put the bread behind you, not in front of you.
They are attracted to something.
Yeah, they're all over. They're standing, walking.
Poor
around.
Adam Frazier out there.
Throw the bread behind you, Adam, not in front of you. And it's the center fielder that needs to do that, not on the left. Doesn't help you on the left.
You think he's got a packet of seeds out there? He's been spitting them.
Yeah, they're definitely after something. They're finding a place to rest, knowing that the game is going to be over soon.
This one hit to right, and Garcia over to get the second out of this inning. Danny Worth coming up for Houston. Well, no lead is safe today. 3-run fourth, 3-run fifth for Houston, and now a 4-run eighth, negating the Pirates' 5-run sixth inning. Worth, the veteran, trying to make the ball club. Swinging a foul. I should say this is I don't believe that's Worth. I think that's Alex Bregman, which is one of their young stars in the waiting.
Got a lot of young ones already playing. Do they need any in the waiting?
I beg your pardon. That is Worth. Swinging a ground ball base hit. For whatever it's worth.
They got so many playing now. How could they have any in waiting?
And that's going to be it for Marte after Worth's base hit. So Marte's day is done. They're just getting started. 10-8 Houston here in the 8th inning from McKechnie Field. And Cole Tucker's rehab going well. Trying to come back from surgery on a torn labrum, and he's begun throwing from shortstop for the first time, hitting again from both sides of the plate too, and it's an encouraging sign for Pirates' first-round pick from a couple of years ago. Supposed to be out for a full year, but he is progressing well. Hope to see him back in full action not too long. Here's Guido Knudsen. And now Alex Bregman is in there. Bregman, the second overall pick in last year's draft. Getting a look here on the split squad day. Almost hit a buzzard, fouling it off. A lot of foul today. Guido Knudsen last year, short stint with Detroit. Trying to pick up for Kelvin Marte. Gave up 4 runs plus Worth on at first. And he strikes out Bregman on 3 pitches to get out of the inning. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Houston back on top.
the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Bottom of the 8th inning, and the Astros now have a 10-8 lead. And to see this one through today, as both teams have had big innings and leads evaporate. See if the Pirates can come back here with Juan Diaz leading it off against Brendan McCurry.
The speed up rules don't work with all these hits and all the runs that are being scored. As we are starting into our 4th hour.
We have seen 10 walks issued as well, so everyone needing a little polish still. Don't forget, stay tuned after this one. We'll have Penguins pregame for you. And then the Penguins and the Devils. That's a fair ball. Ends up in the batting cage.
Right on the chalk.
Well, Diaz a 2 for 2 day.
Robbie, get that ball for us.
There's our roving right fielder. Hello, Robbie. Now let's see. Does Robbie cower from this, or did he hang in there? Let's see. Yep.
Coward.
Yep. Explain yourself.
I couldn't see where it landed, and I went to go grab it, and they're standing right behind me. It's fair ball, so I very quickly got out of the way and watched it sail in the bullpen. We're just waiting to get interviews here. Just if anybody comes out we can interview, we're here to do it, Joe.
That's a nice shoestring grab there. Now, Robbie, did you get out of the way because you knew it was in play?
I did, at the very last second.
Otherwise, you would have hung in there?
And I would have been in a lot of trouble.
Okay, yeah.
See that second line there, though, Robbie?
Yeah.
You're not in play. You're out of play.
So I'm safe here.
Yeah.
So just a funny bounce. I'm good. We're in good shape. All's well back here, guys. Just the only hazard, really, I think you guys discussed it, are these birds. It is absolutely insane how many birds are flying around.
Stand under something down there.
Get an owl or something. Yeah, Robbie's got a little bit more activity than we do. Now we're kidding Robbie about a ball coming his way, and then sure enough, I'm sure we're going to see a foul ball delivered to our booth. We better be on our toes. That's how this stuff works.
Gonna be able to duck fast right here.
They're here too. How many more birds can we get here? Buzzards and seagulls and
osprey.
Yeah, that's right. Getting what's left. 1-1 from McCurry. Stallings walked and scored a run. So the 6'4" third baseman who has played shortstop, and that's the 6'5" catcher batting.
A lot of height in that clubhouse.
Yeah. Can't hide the cookies on top of the fridge. And of course, the pitcher, McCurry, 5'10". Everybody breaking the stereotypes at Oklahoma State. McCurry. Yeah, you were in the other league. You remember Flash Gordon, Tom Gordon, outstanding diminutive pitcher. Hernandez with Diaz moving on to third. And Pirates spring training presented by McDonald's continues tomorrow as the Bucks host the Phillies here at McKechnie Field. And you can catch all the action again tomorrow starting at 1 right here on Root Sports. Jeff Locke will get the nod. Jeff Locke minus the twist in that delivery. Everybody working on things this spring training and trying to get ready for the regular year. He'll be counted on as part of the rotation.
Yeah, that twist he had, I think he's trying to simplify things a little bit. This one looks like it's coming back. It did.
Too much.
Came back too far.
Now Duffy was smart to even give it a look. Normally probably would have been in the seats, and then gosh, if it got up a little higher, might have even blown back in fair territory. Look at the wind, guys. Hey, yeah, there's some wind. Don't have that at Minute Maid Park. They usually button up that place. Retractable roof in Houston. Florimon strikes out. Finally extinguishing his hot bat. Ninth inning coming up. 10-8 Astros.
Hit inning number 9, and as Joe and Bob were talking about earlier, with Gift Ngope being from South Africa, could be the first ever player from that country to do it. I actually asked Gift this morning what it would mean to him to be that guy to do it. He told me it's not something that would be just for him. He's representing his family, his country, and it would make the game of baseball much bigger in South Africa. He said that means a lot more to him than it does just making the big leagues. Now, of course, he obviously wants to make it for himself as well, but he realizes how much weight it carries. Now, get this. He started playing organized baseball at age 12, and he only played competitive baseball once per week. So he didn't have a lot of chances to get looked at. So when he signed with the Pirates at age 19, he jumped at it and worked his way through the minor leagues, and he practiced and played every day. When he got to America, he had never done that in South Africa, so he had to adjust to the American way of life with baseball as it relates to BP, infield, extra reps, getting to the ballpark early, those kind of things. So this guy has overcome a lot, Joe and Bob, and he's right on the cusp here in 2016, potentially could make his big league debut this year. What a story it will be if and when it happens.
It could happen to no better guy, Robbie. I think really a bright presence in the clubhouse.
Yeah, I think everybody kind of has their fingers crossed that this giving up switch hitting and just hitting from the right side bring up those offensive numbers just a little bit to where, yeah, I mean, you'll say, hey, you can live with it because his glove is so fantastic.
257 last year. Not a lot of power.
257,
but
at the big league level is great. If he could do it, you wouldn't need power.
That's about big league average for a shortstop.
That would be tremendous if he can move up with that same number. You're not going to get a lot of other stuff with it other than just the batting average, but that's still fine. He's not going to hit a lot of home runs.
Hit well to left field, and this one's going to make the seats again.
Although he hit one off Australia.
Matt Duffy hit one halfway there, and it's his second home run today.
Nobody's going to hit any of the left today.
Well, I mean, both the balls he's hit today are into the teeth of a very stiff wind, and so Matt Duffy really showing something this afternoon. I'd say he's trying to make a name for himself, but he's just trying to be the other Matt Duffy, and instead of the one with the Giants, who has gotten more note. As this Matt Duffy, just a cup of coffee last year with the Astros, but hit 20 home runs in AAA with Fresno last year, so he's no slouch either. And hit out to left center again. This is going to be extra bases for A.J. Reed, who picks up his third hit today. Some of the Astros
playing the whole game.
Yeah.
I think you see that a little bit more when you have those split squads. You're playing 2 games in 2 different places, so some of the players are going to have to stay in and get a lot of work, a lot of at-bats.
Well, not a full 9 for Reed as he'll come out. Colin Moran will pinch run, and he's still got 5 at-bats today.
Yeah, that I think, especially for this time of spring, is a little unusual. 5 ABs.
And a strike in there. I should say Moran is pinch hitting. I said he was pinch running. Who's on second? I don't know. We're getting. Well, she's a couple of days late. The Blue Jays were just here. More of the international appeal of baseball, though. Canada. A lot of snowbirds down here in Florida this time of year.
She needs to head up to Dunedin.
I think she's got all she needs right there. A little poke in the right. And Reed is on his way home. Stallings with the tag on time. And he held on to it long enough. Milwaukee said, nope. You got him. And a nice throw in from right field, and Willie Garcia, who's known for that good arm.
An excellent throw. In the air, right on the money. Stallings, he dropped the ball after the tag. He was trying to take it out of his glove, looking over his shoulder, seeing if he had to make a throw somewhere.
Well, that keeps it at 11-8. Max Stassi, the catcher, batting for the first time today. Pirates will have Dan Gamache, the restaurant, to lead it off. Garcia and Gope in the bottom of the 9th. After that throw, we got to get a name for Willie Garcia, too. That great arm out there on right. We'll work on it. There's time. Well, they'll lay it on the throw down to first. Jacob Stallings, a good defensive catcher. Nice tag, but just a little late. Moran not getting a huge lead over there. And Stallings, one of those guys that you bring a lot of catchers in at spring training, but has done well not only at the plate, 275 last year for Altoona, but also caught 37% of the guys trying to steal. So like to have those guys around. Lofted toward Garcia. And that one is in foul ground.
Yeah, Pirates have some pretty decent catching depth through the minor leagues now. Wasn't necessarily the case a handful of years ago. Looks to be now. So much depth they were able to let Tony Sanchez go.
And when you're letting a #1 pick go away because you've got so many guys that you can use, there you go. I mean, that frees up time for Diaz in AAA.
You have guys coming
very
up.
good looking.
You have guys coming up from underneath that very solid already here at the big league level with Cervelli and Stewart.
Reese McGuire in his first big league camp, just turning 21 years old. Pirates really like him as well. And that's a hard position sometimes. I mean, there's a lot of teams that are scrambling just to, piecemeal that position together.
There was a season, I can't remember now how long ago. It was probably about 5 years ago or so now. It seemed we had about 8 guys catch for us in one season.
The Rod Barajas years. Mike LaValliere.
There he is. We were looking for him earlier.
I don't know if he was in that year, but certainly.
He was in that Tony Pena trade we were talking about.
Let's go to the bottom of the ninth. Pirates need 3.
Penguins pregame getting you ready for the first of 9 straight games for the Penguins against Metropolitan Division foes. I'll be joined by Bob Airy, Dan Potash. You'll hear from head coach Mike Sullivan. It's the Pens and the Devils first back to McKechnie Field, and we rejoin Joe and Bob for the 9th inning. Guys.
Thank you, Rob. And Bucks need 3 to make this first half of the day a positive one. Camacho, Garcia, and Gope facing Jandel Gustave. 9 pitchers for the Pirates today, now 7 for Houston. Both teams have had leads and have had some big innings. Home run balls plenty for Houston, 2 for Matt Duffy today. Tyler White hit one out. Jake Marisnik and Teoscar Hernandez, 5 home runs for the Astros on this very blustery day. And Gamache with an RBI his last time around. That was part of that 5-run 6th inning. Pedro Florimon with a 2-run triple. 2-hit day for Max Moroff. And Gamache down on strikes to start the 9th. Willie Garcia coming up. Also today, Michael Morse, a couple of hits. Juan Diaz with 2 hits today. Boosting the Pirates. Nice start from Juan Nicasio. A couple of scoreless innings.
Yeah, I think I'll go with Morse and Nicasio as the players of the game for the Pirates. I really like the way Morse handled himself at the plate. A couple of hard hit balls the other direction. One off the fence. And Nicasio looked very comfortable starting this ball game.
You can't pin the loss on him, though. It didn't give up a run in a couple of innings.
Nope.
You got any of those at home?
You know, I think maybe I do have 1 or 2 of them, but obviously not the collection. It's quite impressive.
You got the painter's cap signed. They used to, for the World Series, I don't know if they still, they give out pins to the press. They used to do that, and that's a collector's item. Those varieties, I think, that patron was wearing, just kind of ones that they give out. Now that one, a little bit more huggable. She's got her pirate parrot. That's all she needs. Garcia down on strikes. Gustave with a couple of strikeouts here in the 9th.
That was that breaking ball way outside. Surprised Garcia went after that one. A lot of folks have called it a day. Not many left here.
Well, they've seen a lot of action. Well, the Pirates down 3 in the 9th. Last chance with Gift and Gope.
Might be a little tough to see the ball right now at home plate in that dark shadow.
Now, what makes that so?
Just because your iris in your eyes is wide open because you're looking out in the bright.
And then as you track the
wide
ball?
open. I mean, it's the opposite of that. It's closed way down, and you're looking out. And so when the ball gets into the dark, it just kind of disappears on you. Kind of like when you try and take a picture of somebody with a real bright background.
Yeah.
And then you look at the picture and you can't see their face because they're in the dark. Well, that's what it is. The baseball is in the dark. But your eyes have adjusted to all the bright sunshine, especially here in Florida out there in the back.
Yeah, just the corner of the roof over home plate. A little later in the afternoon than we usually play, so it has not really been a factor yet in the spring.
I don't know if I've ever seen the roof shadow here come into play. This might be a first for me.
2-2 to Ngope. Staying alive. Well, if it holds tight here, it would be Cabrera over Marte and Gustave earning the save. Pirates 2-2-1 coming into today's action. Astros winning their other game today 7-1, and they're going to win this one too. 11-8 the final. And stay tuned as we'll have Penguins hockey for you coming up. Pre-game first, and the Penguins and the Devils from New Jersey. Final here from Bradenton. Astros 11, Pirates 8. Thanks for joining us here on Root Sports.
People around here are really